And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? And what a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off. Just a word of advice.
You've admitted that you're lazy. I think you've read 6 books in your life.
I've read 6.
6. What kind of a woman would be attracted to you, do you think?
Well, I have a lot of money.
Oh. There you go. That's the punchline.
Donald, God bless you. Watching your set was like watching Henry Fonda pick blueberries.
Now, wait a minute.
What's that? Oh, he wants to say something.
Why, I don't think there's a person in here that would not love to watch Henry Fonda pick blueberries.
What a disaster.
Jenny, all the stars are here.
It's true.
Beardy Man, Claude Racine, Dax Flame, Betty Fine,
You got it.
and Raffi Fine. All the stars
You really keep up with all that
are
stuff.
here tonight. Oh, yes. Harley Morenstein is here.
All right. And we also have comedian Todd Glass. He'll be hanging out backstage with some of tonight's guests. And on the red carpet, we've got comedian Kulap Vailesak and host...
I feel like Todd will be struggling to know these people.
I'm sorry, I'm going to continue with the what the computer says, Norm, although I'd love to talk to you more than this computer.
We're on
but
the
I have to
computer.
do what the computer says, even though I do love you, Norm. I think you're one
Okay.
of the best. We're also going to be talking to the
Well,
host
I'm no Harley Morenstein.
You're not, Norm, but you gotta just let me read this fucking thing.
Alec Baldwin, he must have.
Oh, yeah, every season, pretty much.
He's amazing. I don't know what he's doing now.
He was unreal.
Weird tweets. But he used to come when he was a lot younger, I guess, because it was when I started, which was 20 years ago. And he was married to Kim Basinger. And he'd complain about her, like, she's the most beautiful woman. He go, fucking wife. She bought a town. He was mad because she bought a town. Which
A town? She bought a whole town?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
so their credit score went down a little. So
You see you bought a town.
And then he comes in. Baldwin looks perfect, you know. He just had dinner with Lauren, and he goes, he's trying to be like us, you know, one of the guys. And he goes, that secretary, no, not that, he didn't say secretary. He goes, that assistant girl out there, man, I'd saw my left leg off to fuck her.
Jesus Christ.
And I said, I think all you have to do is ask her. Why?
Yeah, you're Alec Baldwin. I think you're all right.
Now, do you think Cosby's legacy will be hurt?
Yeah.
You do, huh? I mean, there was a comedian, Patton Oswalt, he told me, I think the worst part of the Cosby thing was the hypocrisy. And I disagreed.
You disagree with that?
Yeah. I thought it was the raping. As my feeling, most rapists are hypocrites. You don't meet many who go, I like raping, and I know it's not politically correct, but by God, people go, well, he's not being a hypocrite, and that's the worst part.
Do you know about this girl? She's mad at you. Greg was interviewing some girl and she was going off.
I know who it is.
What's the girl's name?
You know, me and Norm have worked with her before. That's why he's going to laugh when I say the name. Laura Keitlinger. Hates your guts.
Did you know she hates you?
No.
Oh my God. Do you want to hear the clip?
By the way, wait, can I interrupt your old friend, Norm Macdonald? Did you guys write together on,
He's not a friend of mine.
Roseanne,
right?
Well, I was just using it loosely.
Now, you had a reaction just now to Norm Macdonald.
Mm-hmm.
Not a friend, not a fan.
You worked with him, though.
Mm-hmm. At Saturday Night Live.
Roseanne.
No, I missed him at Roseanne. Well, I came in, and he was supposed to be the my guide through SNL, and it turned out that he is a shit stirrer.
He was busy pissing in a bucket in front of people.
Well, no, he loves to, pit people against each other. You know, it's funny that you said that because he's like probably like one of the few people I really don't like.
Wow, I've never heard that about. Everyone loves Norm Macdonald.
Well, I mean, I barely remember Laura from the show,
Right.
except for her hit characters, obviously.
I don't even know who she is.
But
She's very talented.
she makes Morweena Banks look like Gilda Radner. But no, she came in directly after me, so I wouldn't be her
mentor.
Yeah, I'm not going to guide any lady through comedy. That would take me, first of all, I'd have to figure out how a lady could do comedy. And then I'd have to...
You strike me, Norm, from what I'm getting from this conversation, you are a man's man. Do you actually believe that women can't be funny? I'm being serious. Are you kind of more in the school that guys are funny comics, just somehow women can't make that transition?
Well, I don't know about you, but when I was in fucking school and shit like that, I'd be in high school, and you could hear peals of laughter, and you'd run over there, and there'd be a big group of people laughing and laughing. Who'd you see in the middle? A broad.
You see the Kramer thing?
Oh, I did see that. We could look at that right now if we wanted to, but we don't have to
Makes
look
me
at that.
laugh.
Yeah, does that make you laugh when you see that? You've
The
done.
whole
You've
thing
done.
makes me laugh.
You've done stand up.
I know Michael Richards.
You do, okay.
And he's no racist. He's not a racist. And when you say something like that crazy, it can only be a joke. You know what I mean? He was out of his head element. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But there's no way that a guy who's racist screams it at the top of his lungs. You know what I mean?
Well, certainly, I don't think he was anticipating the fact that a cell phone could have been putting this onto CNN as he was saying it.
No,
I think he was
right.
thinking,
He wouldn't do it on the Craig Ferguson show.
Right. Maybe on here, though. We could maybe to get him on here to recreate that rant. I don't know, up here in front of the brick wall.
Well, let's get to O.J. O.J. Simpson's lawyers say they don't want the families of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman in the courtroom during the trial. They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind O.J. of how much more killing he still has to do. Well, O.J. Simpson's lawyers stopped feuding this week, finally. The Dream Team, F. Lee Bailey and Robert Shapiro, were able to put aside their differences and express their admiration for each other after O.J. threatened to cut their heads off.
They always want the new people. Oh, hey, guess what? There's a young girl that's middling attractive that swears a lot. Let's get her. What? Is that the new fucking thing?
Yeah.
Sarah Silverman, hysterical.
Right.
Who's funnier than her?
Nobody.
No, except dudes. But,
Nobody.
but
I'm just thinking, because they have that Viagra thing out.
Yeah.
And the other day, Bob Dole came right out and said
He was one of the first.
Yeah. And, you don't want to hear about Bob Dole's cock, I mean, President Clinton's cock, Bob Dole's cock, what the hell? But mostly, an old man like that, you don't want him to have a super hard cock. You know what I mean?
Why?
Why? Because an old man, you want him to be, got a pipe going, a newspaper, the dog at his feet there.
Well, that, in some corners, is considered pipe.
Oh. But now they're going to have to create some goddamn pill that makes women aroused at the sight of a fucking 70-year-old dude with a super hard cock. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This Viagra. It's insane. And you know what it's for? Impotent people. All right, It's for impotent guys. So get this. I read this. The pill can make your cock hard for 4 hours.
Right.
So now, who has the 4-hour hard cock? The impotent guy. The rest of us are fucked. Me and you got our regular cocks. Meanwhile, fucking Spade is,
Defer to Spade.
Oh, man. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it coming.
Dude, I know you didn't. He brought it all around and then a vicious rib kick into his best friend's gut.
Once there's too much cock talk, I try to just zone out for a minute till it goes back. the other way.
If there's too much cock talk, this guy has fevered nightmares all night. Dreams, I mean, like sweaty, fevered dreams from the cock talk that's been all over his head.
Why bury me twice? He's killing me.
No, he's a good man.
That erased it. All right.
No, he's a good man.
Who cares?
After all that, that's the whiteout he puts on.
Yeah, I know, it's awful.
After he talks about you doing chin-ups on cock for 18 minutes. No, he's a good guy.
If you're gay, he's a completely straight guy. He gets a lot of ladies. You know that about him with the ladies.
Don't say ladies.
Women, girls.
Okay, thank you. Ladies, what are we, fucking on an FM station here?
He's Don Cornelius.
But these gay guys, man, I was reading, you know about
These gay guys.
I haven't even said hi yet.
In his book, O.J. Simpson says that he would have taken a bullet or stood in front of a train for Nicole. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is some bad luck when the one guy who would have died for you kills you. That's probably... You don't get worse luck than that.
The next time I watch a WNBA game will be the first time I watch a WNBA game. Hey, WNBA, I got an idea that'll sell some tickets. Shirts and skins. But we got a lot of power here, a lot of juice. Mr. Rule Arledge is here, of course, the chairman of ABC News, you know, and a lot of crazy stories coming out of that division, you know. You know, stories about this person sleeping with that person and all that, you know. Scandal after scandal. If you heard the latest, I heard this just the other day. There's a rumor that last week, a certain, I don't want to say who it is, a certain gentleman in ABC News, he went to a party and he got really drunk and he ended up having sex with his own wife. I don't know. I don't know how these rumors get started, but you know, it's probably just a vicious rumor, really, you know. But as Mr. Arledge knows, of course, TV has become a very tough game. You got to stay competitive, you know. As we all know, ABC's Good Morning America is in a little turmoil, you know, a little trouble, a little rating trouble. And they're considering a lot of ways now, you know, to boost the ratings. And I don't know, I think they're getting a little desperate. I heard that next week Charles Gibson will announce he's a lesbian. I mean, is that going to help anything? Nobody wants to hear that. Martha Stewart is here, and she wanted me to tell you, don't let the busboys clear your table off tonight, because a little later Martha will come up here, and she's going to show us how to take those old discarded fish bones and make a beautiful birdhouse. So... That's nice.
How do you figure out how much to share about what goes on behind the scenes at SNL? Because I know that you were talking about Eddie not doing Bill Cosby on Howard Stern's show, and Seth Meyers wasn't crazy about that. He came out about the Ellen and said, I wouldn't have told that story.
Seth Meyers said that?
Yeah, he said, do we have the quote here? Just bring up the quote. He said, I wouldn't have told it. I feel the same way. I think when you're at SNL, you're seeing so many different things behind the scenes. There are often things to give away that are yours to give away. Norm played it in a way that is very Norm Macdonald. And he went on to praise you, but I don't know what that means. I mean, how do you choose what to reveal and what not to reveal, what to share and what not to share about an institution as powerful as SNL?
I always think, what would Seth Meyers do? It's ridiculous.
Do you have like a necklace or something with a WWSMD on it?
Yeah.
And whenever you're in a pickle, just hold that. And
Yeah.
What would Seth do?
Yeah, because, you know, if you really want to be really funny, then that's what you want to do. You want to think, what would make Seth Meyers laugh? That's how I live my life.
What do you think of his show?
Of what show?
The Seth Meyers show.
It's not something I would do.
I was a little late here tonight. I took the cab to the theater, folks. And I don't know if you've ever been in these New York City cabs, but I got one of those cabbies, couldn't speak English, you know. Saw his name there on the dash. I couldn't even pronounce it. I think it was something like Hideki Arabu. Something like that. Araba's been having some trouble, man. They fired his translator. Steinbrenner fired his translator. And people see that as cruel, you know, but I don't know, you know. I mean, if you're not doing well in Yankee Stadium, you know, do you really need a translator? Do you want that, you know? You know? Hey, what'd they say? They say you suck. You should go back to Japan, you dirty foreigner. Okay, I got it. I'm trying to pitch over here.
You like George Bush, don't you?
I love George Bush, man. He's a good man, decent. You know, none of this. He's, you know, he's not a liar, a crook, murderer, or anything like that. So it'd be good to get the. See, I think we should get the homicide out of the White House and get like a fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
I think we should just go on to the next question.
Who are the murderers?
Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you know, we're not allowed to, you're not allowed to put out no accusations without.
That's a little too far.
That's the way it does work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
This is not my week. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's not mine either, and I'm being very nice, okay? Be a good boy. Now, Norm.
Do you never hear that?
No. Listen,
Norm,
we don't need
I don't
to
want
talk
to get
about
into this, and I don't want to hear it, and this is not the place to make those accusations, and you're supposed to be funny. Let's get on to the next question.
So get with it. There you go.
This is a live show.
Why? Norm, but you have been properly chastised by Barbara, so I'm now going to ask the next question.
I thought it was a matter of record.
Shut up!
Shut up! Look,
Okay.
let me do this, okay?
I'll tell you what's a matter of record. You will not be invited back if you don't shut up. All right, now.
So, Jenny, what month was your issue?
Quoting Churchill.
May of 08. Who was on the cover? Do you remember? It was a Russian girl. And my nickname's Genocide, so I think that was kind of funny.
What?
What? What do you mean?
Is Genocide giving her comedy fucking advice?
Why is that? It's funny because there was a genocide
In Russia? Only about 70 years ago.
against the Russian people.
Who still lives?
But me. That's not
You first. Czechoslovakia. No, it was it wasn't a complete genocide.
What do you mean?
No, it was.
Well, Stalin was a mass murderer.
Only Jewish people seem to get really offended by my nickname.
There are fives in a case.
Dave's getting more.
Right.
Well,
because they're the only ones that.
Well, the only true genocide was the. Well, I don't want to say.
Another
What about
one
the
this way,
American
Sam.
Indians? That was a true genocide.
Wow. What?
The American Indians was a true genocide.
No, that was for land.
No, that was justified.
That was for land. We were taking their property.
No,
It doesn't matter. What does it matter what the motive
No,
is?
the genocide.
Yeah, the motive
against
is
the
to
Indians
just
was
hatred of a race to exterminate them
It was
without a
just- it was
political or economic
justifiable
agenda.
What we did with the Indians.
Well, it's not
No,
justifiable.
well, who's saying it's justified?
I said it. Well, that's
Just got America.
I'm just wondering how it's
just one counterpoint.
You've never heard the legal term justifiable genocide? Hitler was out of his mind at the time. Clearly insane.
I'm trying to take another opinion so we can have some friction here. It's a television show, honey. I can't agree with
This guy
everything you
fancies
say.
himself a modern day Bill Maher.
Thank you for the dumb opinion.
And I got a question for Don Donald.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Where do you get your material, your comic material? Is it through your imagination or real life situations that's happened?
That's an excellent question.
It is. It's a good one. It's almost like what what inspired you to ask that question, sir?
Well, you know, I kind of think of myself as being a comic as well. If you need some material, I can give you some right now.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, man.
Yeah, let's hear a joke here.
Well, it's not necessarily a joke, but have you noticed that it's always illegal to spit on the sidewalk? But as long as you're with your woman, it's okay to cock a loogie in her crotch. I'm thinking the cheap bastard should go buy some lubricant or something.
Yeah. It's like
Am I wrong here?
punk rock of comedy.
Well, that's awesome, man.
That's great.
That's good.
That's
Thanks.
a new way to approach comedy. It's a.
You want to play a little something on the piano real quick?
Well, Tom, right now it's not powered up because I got an outlet situation
Oh, okay.
going.
All right.
I got some pre-recorded material.
Okay. That's all right. Power it up next time.
He could have a
Thanks.
whole act like that.
Wow.
He could. I swear to God, he could craft an entire act like that. You know, why is it okay to throw your gum? Like, you know, why is it bad if you throw your gum on the street, but it's all right if you rape a lady? You know, it's like the premise is crazy. It's not all right to spit in a lady's vagina.
We're joined by the talented trio called the Lonely Island.
Yeah,
who
you know
will be
what I
on the
call
big.
them?
What do you call them?
I call him Sandberg and the other couple of fellows.
The Mind Squad
The
is
other
how
couple.
Rolling Stone put it.
The other two, Akiva and Yorma. Thank you guys for joining us. Andy.
Thanks for knowing our names.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no, I read the card. You guys ever been to a thing like this? No. What do you think?
Nothing like this.
It feels so pro and real. Am I on TV? Am I on the internet?
We don't know.
Oh, you're on the computer.
You're on a velvet couch. You're on a maroon velvet couch in the beating hot sun.
Hey, can I ask a serious question? I mean, fuck all these jokes. like when you name yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever have fucking moments of regret later because it's permanent, almost like a tattoo?
Absolutely. Yeah. The Lonely Island, I was outvoted.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
What were the other runner-up names?
Our first album was called Incredibad, and I wanted that to be the name of the band. But
We would have had regrets about that too, though.
Probably.
Let's be honest.
There's no winning when you're a comedy troupe.
Does that happen a lot?
It all
Yeah,
sucks.
you're a troop.
Who comes up with the ideas, or do you guys fight a lot over ideas, or how does that work?
It's a democratic process.
Yeah.
Two out of three always
Two
wins.
out of three wins. Yeah.
Who's always getting left out?
Someone's always mad.
It's whoever's not in town.
Got it.
How do you guys feel in your bodies? Do you feel healthy and strong?
Absolutely not.
I could be eating better.
Yeah.
Yeah, digestion could be going better.
Yeah. I feel like that about
Hey,
myself.
enough of these fucking jokes. Can I ask one more serious question?
Hit me with a real one, Norm.
A real one.
Sandberg, when you went to SNL,
Yeah.
you went different than anybody else because you were already a fucking big hit, right?
I don't think so. Is that true?
We were definitely
No.
not a big hit. No.
Oh, Saturday Night Live made you guys a big hit?
Yeah, I mean, we had a small internet following.
Oh, so the computer doesn't really work to make you a big hit?
I mean, that was like 17 years ago, right? How long ago was that? It was a while ago. It's changed now.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you started Incredibad
/ The Lonely Island.
Yeah, the Lonely Island. What's the significance of that name, though? That's what really I wanted to ask. The Lonely Island. You think of all islands as kind of lonely.
Do you really want to hear the story?
Yes, please.
I do
We can do a
too.
real short version, which is just basically was what we called the apartment we lived on Olympic with all the traffic. It was a sarcastic name from a sarcastic Tennessee Williams style sketch we did about the apartment.
Akiva wrote a one-act play.
God damn, I wish I had a time machine.
Oh,
to
it
see
was
that
so great.
action.
Yeah, no, to take back my question.
Thought you were going to say to murder Hitler.
I would not. You know, people always fucking want to murder Hitler with their time machine, right? But then I feel if I got back there, I'd be afraid of falling under the spell of his fucking beautiful eyes.
It's true.
And oratory, and
you
then-
get locked in the gaze.
Yeah, and then I join the fucking party,
That's
knowing
his
me.
thing. He gives you his full attention. You're like, whoa,
All
wait
right.
a minute. Maybe there's
Norm,
something to
I'm
this guy.
No, but before you ask another serious
Believe
question,
it or
we
not,
gotta
they're
move
telling
on.
us to wrap it up. I don't exactly
I
know
want to.
why you
Wrap
guys.
what? This was fun for everyone.
It's the
For the
Lonely
record,
Island, guys.
I would have killed Hitler. So thanks, gentlemen.
Can I just clarify? if I did go back in time to kill Hitler, I would do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't get
That's
lost in
that's
his
the front
eyes and
door
then
choice.
bail.
Yeah.
Just so I don't get like
thanks for
hit
having
from
us.
all the like
I know, all the-
defamation
Yeah,
leagues.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
you would
Yeah.
end it. Yeah.
Pro.
Listen,
Okay.
man, I'm sorry about.
We got to wrap it up.
I'm sorry
It's
about
over.
bringing up Hitler.
You really brought this live show to a new
This is
low.
the first one, right? This is your first interview?
It's just
Yeah,
gonna get worse.
this is the first time I've ever been interviewed a man.
Sign
If you
of
can bring
things to
Hitler
come.
into all of them, they're going to ask you back for sure, which is I know what you want.
That's what we're all hoping for.
Okay, tell him to go now.
You know, with Hitler, the more I learn about that guy, the more I don't care for him. I can't. Yeah. And there's nothing redeeming about the guy. I tell the guys, I go, how on earth could these Germans follow this lunatic, you know? And they're like, oh, he was an incredible public speaker, you know? He could hypnotize you with his public speaking. And then I see him, he's like, strangely, strangely, strangely. I go, what? That's not my idea of a silver-tongued devil, you know?
Tell me what it is with these gay guys.
I know, I'm already. I just read this thing about the George
You're reading
Michael.
a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, I got a little time off. Now I read the newspaper. And this really strikes me about the gay community. I don't know if they're a community, but
called
West Hollywood. Yeah, they're gay, and it's George Michaels. He hangs around the bathroom. He has sex with multiple guys. This is
no way. You got to get it right. Hangs around the bathroom, and it was described as a lewd behavior, but I don't remember sex with numerous guys.
Well,
is that what you took away from it?
What does he do?
What were you, in the next stall?
I could have been just having a nice bathroom regular thing.
I don't know what lewd behavior is, but I don't know that he was in there with numerous guys. But anyway, go ahead. We get the gist of it.
This is definitely a gay thing, because this is a pop superstar. You know what I mean? You're not going to walk into a bathroom and all of a sudden Farrah Fawcett's like, You're not going to...
What?
I love it. What I'm saying is, why would a famous...
What was she doing? What was that, some sort of cervical belt sander thing, or what was that? Oh, Christ, what are you, Linda Blair?
They do.
That's what they do, right?
That's what ladies that I know do.
Good to know that primetime exposure is paying dividends there.
But I think that's what it is. It's that the gay, that's why they have separate bathrooms. Let's face it. If they had women and, women, as you call them, I call them ladies. If you had them in the same bathroom, like you go in the bathroom to do your business, see a man about a dog there, and you're in the bathroom. You're in the bathroom. All of a sudden, a beautiful lady comes out. Oh, here's my vagina and breasts. You're going to be hanging out at that bathroom a lot. So I don't blame anybody for anything. It was revealed today that O.J. Simpson told police that Nicole Brown Simpson used to beat him up. He also claimed that she and Ron Goldman killed him. O.J. Simpson's lawyers have decided to skip hearings on DNA evidence and go right to trial. Asked why they did this, the lawyers replied, "We want to get O.J. acquitted as speedily as possible so he can get back to doing what he does best, killing people." Oh, I have an announcement to read. I almost forgot. I was told to make this announcement. Table 10, wherever you are, table 10. We're sorry your waitress hasn't been there in a while. Larry King just married her. So, I have to say, though, this is an incredible thing for me. I'm just a punk, and yet here I am, I can't believe I'm speaking in a room. I'm standing in a room here with the most powerful man in the country, Alan Greenspan, and it's a little amazing to me. It's a little, Of course, that's the big story in here in Washington is the recent marriage between NBC's Andrea Mitchell and Alan Greenspan, who is 71 years old. And this is sweet, I didn't know this. They wrote their own vows, She promised to love, honor, and speak into his good ear. So that was... It's kind of sweet, Chris is a great guy, but he used to bring around women all the time to the show, Big, tall women, Big bruisers, And he'd say, "Look, I'm heterosexual." I mean, he wouldn't say that out loud, but that's what that would be the caption on the picture in the New Yorker. Boy, those are funny.
So it was something related to his sexuality.
Maybe. But listen, if I call a person gay, that ain't no insult.
It's a good thing nowadays.
Yeah, if you say it's an insult, you're the homophobe, not me.
Correct. Supreme Court says so.
That's absolutely.
I consider Amy Schumer the funniest person on the planet. If you take me out of the equation.
No, I meant me.
Oh, yeah, that's why you were coughing?
That's why I was clearing my throat, yeah. Not you.
I thought you were clearing your throat for me.
No.
Taking you out of the equation.
Yeah.
But you're funny in a different way.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat.
Norm Macdonald was the funniest man to ever live. That's something they could never take away from him.
Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case...
Alright, that's enough. Throughout Norm's long and distinguished comedy career, we only ever got 2-hour-long stand-up comedy specials, one called Me Doing Stand-Up, and the other, Hitler's Dog, Gossip and Trickery. Today we will be reviewing the latter and taking a closer look at Norm's Netflix comedy special, Hitler's Dog, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on it and whether or not I think it's good, bad, or somewhere in between. That being said, it is a Norm Macdonald special, so I think a lot of you already know where this one is going. So if all of that sounds interesting to you, then let's hop right into it. To begin with, I hadn't watched this special in a really long time, and rewatching it several years later, it actually surprised me a lot. I used to think that Me Doing Stand-Up was the clear winner between the two, but Hitler's Dog has a lot of classic bits that are just so simple and unique, while also being brilliantly grim and deep. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and hop into the content of the special. The special begins with a shot of Norm walking through a park on a sidewalk, and while we see this nice B-roll footage, we hear Norm deliver the punchline to his classic bit about Bill Cosby being a hypocrite.
God damn, at least he's not a hypocrite. That's the worst. That's the worst part of it.
This is almost a subtle nod to Norm's diehard fans because he didn't even have to include the setup of the joke in there because Norm knows that we already know it. It's a great bit to start the special on, and then we see Norm transition into a bit about eating a pork chop and differences that exist when we eat at home versus when we eat at a restaurant. This is a bit we have seen on Letterman before, but it's nice to see the extended version of it in the special where it eventually goes into the way waiters talk to you when you're ordering dessert. Very funny stuff. One thing I noticed early in this hour and really appreciated about Norm's stand-up bits is how he takes his word choice into very careful consideration when doing the bits. It's apparent that Norm has worked very hard to select the funniest possible words for his audience. You guys might be thinking I'm overanalyzing this, and you may be right, but let me cook for a second. A lot of the words Norm uses have much harder consonants than other words.
Say, man, I'm going to make myself a pork chop, cook it up till it's hot on one side, then turn it over, hot on the other side, cook, change, and then cut into it a little bit, see how it's going in the middle. Guy comes, he's got a big tray. Oh, yeah. He had a canted angle, every confection known to man. Sure. Suddenly, his tone changes. It's not like the pork chop anymore. Some kind of sexual undertones going on.
A lot of comedians have talked about how words with the p, t, or k sound are funnier than words without them. Gary Goldman has even tweeted about this in his Comedy Tips series about how there's something prehistoric in our brains that make us laugh when we hear a certain sound or certain words. Norm definitely seems aware of this throughout the entire special, and he does not disappoint. The jokes themselves are super funny, don't get me wrong, but when you also use the funniest words when constructing the jokes, and you own a doghouse, there's just no way the audience isn't gonna love you. Anyway, let's get back into the content of the special. Norm's bit about the desserts at the restaurant gets really silly, and we get one of my favorite Normisms when he does the
you like this?
This will always crack me the fuck up no matter what context it's in. Then we see Norm do a silly bit about sex and how it's not interesting to him anymore, which then naturally transitions right into this bit about Abraham Lincoln saying score in George Washington's famous story about chopping down a cherry tree. The greater point of the joke ends up having nothing to do with George Washington at all, rather how fucking mortifying it would be if you were incapable of telling anybody a lie. You can genuinely hear in Norm's voice how troubling this topic is to him, and it ends up being a great little non sequitur. I really like these jokes. Bits like this and other ones we will get into lead me to believe that only Norm could pull them off. If Norm was in a writer's room and gave this to even the most elite comedians working today like Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub, or Bert Kreischer, I really think they would struggle to make these jokes as funny as Norm. Okay, that was a joke, but seriously, Norm has this habit of lingering on jokes for a while and not being as concise as he could be, but it works especially well for him and his style. In fact, it's what a lot of people love him for, is his irreverence towards the rules of brevity. This isn't to say Norm can't have great one-liners. He does. Everyone who has watched him for a while knows he can come up with great lines on the spot as well. It's just that he finds a way to stretch these bits, waste your time, but make you happy while he's doing it. Once Norm has the skeleton of the joke compartmentalized, he just plays around with it, and he's so naturally funny that this really works in his favor. That's why I think most comedians working today, even if they were high-level comics, could not pull off what Norm does. Another thing Norm does tremendously well in his stand-up is cloaking his segues and really making it seem like a big, long stream of consciousness.
There's a real stream of consciousness thing happening here, Norm.
Yeah, it's called conversation.
Well, I guess it's more of a conversation, really. But Norm exemplifies high-level segues, making the entire specially incredibly easy to watch. Then we see a few jokes about why Norm doesn't like to go to parties because he feels like he's too dumb and doesn't have any strong opinions to tell anybody about, which is rich when you consider the fact that he graduated from high school at like 14 years old and was enrolled in university around 15 or 16 years old. I really like this joke about the triangular Cuban sandwiches because it really does remind me of how good these fucking sandwiches are for some reason. My family around the holiday season always buys these Cubans from a local sandwich shop, and good God almighty are they delicious. Norm is definitely onto something with this one. Moving on, several bits from this special we had seen in Norm's last Letterman set, or just a Letterman interview in general, like the next one we saw about him doing LSD and being disappointed that he didn't have a flashback like he was promised by his drug dealer. I think Bill Maher would be very proud of Norm for taking a stand against the big acid companies and voicing his issues with them on a billion-dollar platform like Netflix. Very cool of Norm to pretend to be a smart guy like Bill for this one joke. By this point in the special, we are about a quarter of the way through, and already I'm flabbergasted by how funny the special is. I really took it for granted the first time I watched it, but upon rewatching, I'm realizing just how clever, simple, but unique all of Norm's premises are. Furthermore, we would then see Norm get into this monstrosity of a bit that starts off with him talking to a vegetarian and realizing he's wrong morally, but this quickly escalates into his belief that if you woke up one day and realized you were wrong about everything, that you should hang yourself. He also has a throwaway observation that's so cartoonishly stupid you can't help but laugh your ass off. Norm says it's no coincidence that the rope store and the rickety stool store are always built right next to each other. Just a completely fake observation. This is one small detail that is a cherry on top of such an excellently written bit. Then we see Norm make a salient point about how a lot of people question the motive of people who commit suicide and pretend like they don't understand it, even though the reason why they're doing it appears to most people as glaringly obvious.
People commit suicide. People go, I don't understand why. And I go, you don't? Well, you live in a cotton candy house or something? What the fuck? You don't know about life? How it only disappoints and gets worse and worse until it ends in a catastrophe? What the fuck?
This is so twisted and morbid, but absolutely side-splitting. Then Norm takes it into a bit about autoerotic asphyxiation, which ends up being great. As aforementioned, the escalation from veganism into this bit about autoerotic asphyxiation is so gradual and natural that you really don't even notice it happening right before your eyes. Incredibly well done. A lot of people think Norm is funny, but really don't give his stand-up the respect it deserves. This is why I believe that George Carlin notably praised Norm in the 90s for his stand-up comedy, and Norm's ability to deliver this left-field style of observational comedy consistently throughout his act. Even if you don't think George was the funniest comedian in the latter half of his career, the dude knew what he was talking about when it came to praising funny people and giving them their flowers. Right after this bit about suicide, Norm follows it up with this dark but silly bit about what happens directly after you died. The delivery of this absurd joke all the way to the end is world-class and vintage Norm Macdonald. Then we see several more bits about suicide that are all pretty funny, and then this transitions nicely into Norm's bit about Las Vegas and the classic saying of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. This is one we've seen Norm do for years, and he really expands on it in a way that he didn't initially on Late Show with David Letterman. There's an extra funny punchline that he obviously could not have said on TV, and it's a great incentive to watch the special if you haven't already. As much as I love the bit from the special though, it really doesn't feel the same without David Letterman cackling in the background.
You probably think of him as some that likes to bite the heads off of chickens, but this guy can...
Then Norm dives into the topic of smartphones and discusses the differences between taking pictures nowadays and pictures just 1 or 2 generations ago. The line, "Who's gonna feed them hogs?" lives rent-free in my head and probably always will after watching this special and Norm's last Letterman set.
Who's gonna feed the hogs?
Then we see Norm do a bit about Wikipedia, which happens to have one of the most noteworthy jokes in the entire special, in my opinion. My friend and I have talked about Norm's Claude Monet joke a lot because it's a massive subversion that you would never expect. When Norm says to his friend he's going to the bathroom to look at Claude Monet and he comes back after a half hour of looking and he just says he liked his paintings, that's fucking wild. He doesn't go any deeper than this, and the guy asking Norm about him fucking believes it. Most misdirection jokes are relatively simple, but Norm took this one so much further than necessary just because he felt like it. Fucking legend. Then Norm discusses the nature of fame and how it has changed by comparing the first people to go on the moon to Instagram booty models. And then Norm highlights the absurdity of what happened with the first spaceship to the moon and how Harrison Schmitt was not allowed to even leave the lunar capsule. Then we get to probably my favorite joke of the entire special when Norm talks about metaphors and how he appreciates metaphors where they are figuratively true while also being literally true. Incredibly grim, but so fucking funny, dude. I love this joke because of its simplicity, as well as Norm giving his sincere thoughts on what makes somebody beautiful. That was a nice touch. Then we see several more jokes about leading causes of death in America, teachers being the real heroes, and how the best time in Norm's life was the time before school when it was just pure and blissful. Then we hear Norm's classic bit about how the only country he's scared of is Germany on account of them declaring war on the world, and after this we hear the joke about the $6 million man. I will say this was the only bit that didn't strongly resonate with me. It definitely isn't Norm's fault he lost me. It's just because I'm not super well read on the content of the show and the commercial. He also talks about a few other commercials, the reverse mortgage, and then the 10 commandments of the scriptures, and then Norm ends the special with his bit that the title is referencing about Hitler's dog and how a dog's love is so pure and unconditional that even a man as evil as Hitler could be loved by one. A great closing bit for the special. All in all, I think for Norm's last comedy special released while he was still alive, this was an absolute heater. I think of the two, I still prefer me doing stand-up, but if it was a roll of the dice which comedy special I ended up watching, I would be just fine with either of these. I don't watch as many comedy specials anymore, but I'm happy I rewatched this one to make this video. I think Hitler's Dog is a deep look into the topics of Norm's mind while he was battling cancer with a beautiful cocktail of grimness, self-reflection, sincerity, and of course, humor. If you haven't seen the special, I'd recommend giving it a watch. If you're a fan of Norm, then you'd love it, and if you're not a super big fan of Norm, I think Hitler's Dog might change your mind on how good Norm is. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hype the video to help more people see it, and comment your thoughts on this special down below. If you want more content from me, click the link on your screen to check out my last video where I compiled 30 minutes of Norm Macdonald brutally roasting people throughout his entire career. I know you'll love the video, so click the link to check that out now. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and God bless. After his departure from Saturday Night Live, Norm Macdonald would go on to star in his very own sitcom titled The Norm Show.
I played Norm.
Even though Norm's fan base loved this show and the ratings started off strong, the network eventually made some horrible decisions with the show's scheduling, which eventually led to this great show dipping in ratings and being completely canceled. In today's video, we will be talking about Norm Macdonald's sitcom The Norm Show, where he played Norm, and how ABC's reckless handling of the show's scheduling led to the demise of an underrated sitcom starring our favorite chunk of coal. So if all of that sounds interesting, then get cozy and let's hop right into it. To begin with, let's establish a quick timeline of events that we can follow. The year is 1997, and Norm Macdonald has just been fired alongside head writer Jim Downey from Saturday Night Live. We would then see Norm host the ESPYs shortly thereafter, then star in his own hit movie titled Dirty Work, and then the year after, on March 24th, 1999, TV producer Bruce Helfert would collaborate with Norm Macdonald to ride his growing fame and create his very own sitcom titled The Norm Show. The show would shorten the name in September 1999 to Norm, 2 years before that horrible tragedy where all the stories came crashing down.
All the stories came crashing down, you know. A lot like when we tried to write on The Norm Show.
This was a preemptive decision to prevent any potential legal dispute. Anyway, let's take a minute or two to talk about the general storyline of The Norm Show. Norm's sitcom revolved around him as the main character named Norm Henderson, who is a professional hockey player who was banned indefinitely from the NHL for gambling and tax evasion. Norm, being the acting connoisseur that he is, method acted this role for many years by gambling and losing all of his money frequently before he even got the sitcom, just so he could really really nail the role when he acted, which just proves my new theory. Richard Simmons is gay. Alright, I'll lay off, goddammit. Moving on, Norm would have a formidable comedic cast behind him, consisting of Lori, who was played by Laurie Metcalf, Danny, who was played by Ian Gomez, Taylor, who was played by Nikki Cox, and in the second season we got to see Artie, who was played by Chris Farley. Wait, that's not Chris Farley, that's just some other fat guy. The plot would essentially just follow around Norm and all of his shenanigans at the office. A key detail of the show is that Norm had been assigned this job as community service for 5 years, which was the only thing standing between him and significant prison time, given all of his gambling legal troubles. Lori and Danny are Norm's friends from the office who try to steer him away from his office rebel antics as much as possible, while their boss is Anthony Curtis, who constantly takes a much more direct approach to steer Norm away from being a degenerate. Thankfully for us, his efforts are futile and we get to see Norm wreaking havoc in typical fashion. Nikki Cox, being a stunning young smoke show, plays Taylor, who, just in case you weren't aware...
Look, Taylor, I don't think you understand. You're a huge whore.
Now that we have a general idea of what Norm's sitcom was like, how was it received by ABC's television audience? Well, as goofy as it sounds, it was really good until it wasn't. What do I mean by that? When the Norm Show first went on the air, it had a pretty elite time slot on Wednesday nights at 9:30 p.m. It also preceded the Drew Carey Show, which was a fairly well-retarded sitcom, so the show being well-received by audiences was essentially a layup for the Norm Show. Not to mention that anybody tuning into a sitcom about Norm Macdonald filled with his style of humor, of course they were going to love it. The sitcom was essentially geared just for die-hard Norm Macdonald fans who wanted to consistently hear him rip on prostitutes and do his famous
You like this?
All things considered, the show was set up perfectly to succeed, and it did. The Norm Show in its first season was one of the most highly rated sitcoms on ABC among adults aged 18 to 49. And according to the Nielsen Media Research's cumulative viewer ratings for TV programs, the Norm Show was rated an 8.1 out of 13, which was pretty damn good. It was also ranked 46th out of 175 shows that were also on the rankings. It was crystal clear that even after Norm's time on Saturday Night Live, the people still wanted more from him, and they were going to get it. So upon seeing amazing results for the show from ABC's key demographics, you would think they would do the exact same thing and not start to enact bullshit changes, right? Well, you would be wrong. In season 2, we would start to see ABC experiment and shuffle around the time slot of the Norm Show, which would begin to create confusion and inconsistency amongst regular viewers of the show. According to Pop Matters' article on the Norm Show, during the second season, the show remained on Wednesday night, but they shifted the time slot 1 hour earlier, so it played now at 8:30 p.m. instead of 9:30 p.m. ABC did this for episodes 1 through 7 of season 2. Fair enough, ABC wanted to try a different show for the 9:30 p.m. time slot, so they moved the Norm Show around. Not a big deal, right? But then a few months go by, and they move it back to 9:30 p.m. once again for episodes 8 through 13. So the experimental time change must have proved to be ineffective initially, and they decided to revert back to the timing format that will allow the show to be as successful as it was in season 1. Great, now all ABC has to do is stay right there. But no, because nothing makes sense in this fucking world, they decide once again to move the time slot an hour earlier for the second time.
The second time.
For episodes 14 through 20 to wrap up the season. This would mark the third time that the show's time slot had shifted during season 2, which really threw the audiences for a loop. What's remarkable though is despite the time slot instability presented by ABC, the Norm Show would be rated a 7.8 out of 13 on the Nielsen Media Research cumulative viewer ratings for TV programs, which was not a massive decrease from the ratings of the first season. In fact, the show was still ranked 48th out of 175 shows that were rated, which meant it was still in the top third of TV shows overall. So even with the ridiculous amount of hurdles and obstacles presented through the volatility of the show's time slot, the fans of the Norm Show still found a way to watch the show and enjoy it. However, the third season is when things really started to come crashing down. Aside from the constant time changes of when the show would air, ABC would decide to move the Norm Show from Wednesday nights after the Drew Carey Show to Friday nights. This was a huge screw-up because the Friday night time slot on TV in general is often considered the Friday night death slot, given a Friday's show's likelihood to be canceled due to low ratings. Fridays are often nights when people go out and do shit instead of staying in and watching television, given most people's work schedules. So this was a death sentence to most shows unless your lead actor was Charlie Sheen or Jerry Seinfeld. The worst part was, there wasn't even even an announcement ahead of time that this was taking place. ABC actually aired the very first episode of Season 3 on Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m., just like normal. But then the next week, they pivoted the rest of the season to goddamn Friday night. Episodes 2 to 11 would air Friday night at 9 p.m., then we would see even more time changes for no reason at all. Episodes 12 through 14 would go back to 9:30 p.m., and then episodes 15 through 24 would shift forward again to 8:30 p.m. for no good reason at all. All of these time slot changes and moving the show to a Friday night was just an absolute nightmare, and the quality of the episodes would follow suit as well, and they would noticeably start to decrease in quality in Season 3. True fans still enjoyed the show for what it was, but all of these factors, many of which were introduced by ABC, really put the show into a downward spiral. When the 2000 to 2001 Nielsen ratings came out, the Norm show had tumbled drastically down to a 4.3 out of 13 rating, which knocked it down to a ranking as well of 109 out of 175 TV shows on the air that year. The low ratings mixed with the dramatic time slot changes brought the Norm show to its knees in April 2001 when the season ended and ABC decided to cancel it, which perfectly solidified the trend of shows getting the Friday night death slot and then perishing shortly thereafter. When it comes to critical reception, the show had a pretty eclectic range of reviews. Norm Macdonald's sitcom often had a dry and sardonic style to it that people either really loved or really hated, or they thought it was just okay. But seriously, similar to Weekend Update, people either loved Norm's styles or just didn't really care for it. To refer back to an article from earlier, Pop Matters talked about how the Norm show was cynical but not mean. I mean, yeah, in the show Norm Henderson is a degenerate gambler who loves making fun of Taylor for being a huge whore, but if you watch Dirty Work, he did the same thing. So if you really watched Norm's work up until this point, you knew what you were getting from the sitcom. Sure, Lori, Danny, and Artie might have been underutilized at some points, but they're really just there to highlight what people already find hilarious about Norm and his antics, while being supporting roles along the way. All the criticism of the show dipping in quality during Season 3 is pretty fair though. Even diehard Norm fans were disappointed by it. Ultimately, the show had its own problems, but ABC made sure the show was dead in the water by giving it every available obstacle to fail. Some fun pieces of lore I enjoyed from the Norm show though were the cameos from Richard Pryor in Season 3 as Mr. Johnson.
But I'm going to give you a number that you can call. What the hell was that? Win. Win?
As well as Jack Warden playing Danny's father in Season 1.
Nami, nami, nami. Hockey, nami. Hockey, nami.
These were some cool cameos I recall loving when I watched the Norm show for myself. All in all, ABC just had to try and tighten their grip on the show and move it around to different time slots and different days. That skewered Norm's sitcom, and by the third season it seemed like everybody had just had enough altogether, so the show went off the air in 2001, making this the saddest thing to ever take place in the year 2001. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed me breaking down how ABC killed the Norm show, please make sure to leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Also, hype the video to help more people see it, and if you want more content from me, click the link on your screen to check this video out where I compile some of my favorite Norm Macdonald moments of all time. Click the link to watch that now. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and as always, God bless.
Jokes. This is a section where we do jokes. It's kind of comic relief. Okay. So this is a topical joke about the flight, but you just read it. You don't read ahead.
Oh, no?
You can if you want.
Malaysian Flight 370 is still missing. You know where they're going to find it? The last place they look. The pilot's last words, I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on a motherfucking plane. That could be, yeah, that could be. You're giving me these great jokes, okay. Here's what I've learned. You beat up and toss one 19-year-old Hispanic hooker out of a moving car, and they never let you forget it. Isn't that true? That is funny. That's
both funny and true.
That's too dirty. Let's do a nice joke to clean it up.
Opinions are like assholes. Neil Patrick Harris wants to stuff... You should let me read this ahead. Opinions are like assholes. Neil Patrick Harris wants to stuff his cock in them. Oh, wait, that's just assholes. It didn't get a laugh, but I'm laughing. That's very funny.
Well, this Lindsay Lohan can't swim a stroke, but she sure knows every dive in town.
That one I like. That was my favorite. I'm keeping this.
That is a favorite? I read a story. A 17-year-old kid who stole a plane, crashed it, and survived. Why don't we make the whole plane out of that kid?
That seems logical, right?
Makes sense, right? There you go. Adam Egan.
Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, but I invented the light bulb up my ass.
Always ahead of his time.
Oh, come on, man. I used to think revenge was a dish best served cold, but then I realized it meant getting back at somebody.
Okay, now we'll see this joke. This
made
is
me
a
laugh
joke.
again out loud.
This
Just
is
reading
this
it
show,
to myself.
This show is so high quality that we take jokes from the dustbins.
Barbara Walters announced that she's retiring from The View. Well, actually, she announced it 5 years ago, but no one could hear her over those yammering bitches. See? Accomplished comedian.
What is accomplished?
Did you write this one?
This is not against
Accomplished.
This is not against anybody.
Accomplished comedian Sinbad has announced he's filing for bankruptcy for the second time.
The second time.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so retarded. Sounds like things have gone from Sinbad to sin worse.
A Florida University student was caught streaking on campus and apparently told police he was on acid and asked them to cut his dick off. Boy, these kids today are crazy. In my day, we didn't need drugs. We would just cut our own dicks off.
Yeah, you didn't need no fucking acid and shit. That's a good one.
I think my doctor might be retarded.
Why?
His name is Dr. Retardo.
Oh.
It's a good chance. One of the most popular documentaries on Netflix. One of the most popular documentaries on Netflix is Jiro
Dreams of Sushi?
Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
I've seen that. It's very good.
That's you have? Fantastic One of the least popular documentaries, Jiro Nightmares of Acid.
Oh, yeah.
That
unwatchable.
I liked it, the DVD commentary.
This one's more like a factoid.
Danny DeVito looks like one of those guys with a short but thick penis.
Right? He has to have the thickest fucking cock.
It's true.
This reminds me of your kind of joke.
All right.
Just from hearing you read jokes.
Oh, I like this. I like the theme that this one has. A man in Taiwan reportedly cut off his own penis to win an argument with his wife. That reminds me of that episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, where Raymond forgot Deborah's birthday and he had to cut his own cock off. Oh my God.
What about this? This is what you were talking about earlier, 42.
I love the movie 42. It's Chadwick Boseman like you've never seen him before. Of course, you've never seen him before. I get that.
Yeah.
Apparently, someone in Germany stole 5 metric tons of Nutella. Police haven't arrested anyone yet, but they are questioning Gunther Hogsbargen, the 700-pound man that smells like chocolate and hazelnuts, who guards the Nutella storage facility. That's funny.
Larry, you'll like this one.
Wasn't too bad.
Amanda Bynes is a lush blonde who's quickly turning into a blonde lush. See, I tend to laugh at my own. If you were a Russian prostitute on a date with serial killer Andrei Chikatilo, a.k.a. the Rostov Ripper, and he couldn't achieve an erection, that was not your lucky day.
No.
The Al-Qaeda online magazine Inspire has a recipe for a homemade bomb. They also have a recipe for a pretty darn good peach cobbler.
They're not all bad, you know?
I crack up when I see a funny joke and I hear it. You know.
China's government has reported they have lost over 28,000 rivers in the past decade.
That's weird.
That is weird.
My theory is they sold it into the sordid world of underground river sex trafficking.
That's a really good punchline. A very suspect premise.
You know, I'm old enough to remember back to simpler, more innocent times when the worst thing you'd hear about the news was hijacked jetliners flying into buildings.
Oh, now, Gilbert, you're going to get into trouble again.
I spoke to Johnny.
Oh,
He loved it.
Is that right?
Yes.
I think there's nothing cooler than being a lone wolf, except at wolf picnics when you don't have a partner for the wolf wheelbarrow races.
There you go.
A new study shows that most men can identify a gay man by his face alone. It's the face that's buried in another man's asshole.
It's about your friend.
Hey, you're not going to believe this, but Bill Maher is giving away the solution to all our problems for free. He is, isn't he?
In my opinion, if we're going to fight the war on terror, a good place to start would be our country's haunted houses.
I feel that could be in your act, almost.
Any of these could be in my act, and they will be. Tomorrow is National Secretary's Day.
Which is true.
Is that right? I plan on getting my secretary the same thing I always do, a big fat goosing.
The man behind the voice of Tony the Tiger, sadly, the man behind the voice of Tony the Tiger died at 64. His last words, I don't feel great. I gave it something. Yeah. Are these left over from when you did updates? Neil Patrick Harris posed nude for the cover of Rolling Stone except for a hat hanging off his wiener. And this morning, Adam Egat, oh, is that your name? Fucking change it. And this morning, Adam woke up and said, hey, where's my hat? Sorry, Neil Patrick Harris' cock. It's on his dick. Go get it.
It's there the whole time, man.
Playboy magazine has done away with the nude photo layouts altogether. In other words, they've eliminated ladies in the altogether altogether.
Oh man,
that's a sort of radio DJ joke, I feel.
The way you
we have to
your
deliver
voice,
that,
yeah,
right?
delivered it.
In other words, they've eliminated ladies in the altogether altogether. Here's Taylor Swift.
When you're single trying to attract a partner, it's important to project the qualities you desire, which I understand, but boy, oh boy, have I had to suck a lot of dick lately.
That's sort of like a Bobby Lee joke.
It was a lot like a Bobby Lee.
All right. You know, you ever hear of steampunk?
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, there's a joke for you.
I wouldn't call myself a fan of steampunk, but I will say it's the healthiest way to prepare punk.
Do you diet sometimes?
I know, but
do you go on diets and stuff?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, so this is sort of a diet joke a little bit.
I'm so sorry. Boy, was it hot outside today. I went out to buy a California Pizza Kitchen signature, pepperoni frozen flatbread, and by the time I got home, it was perfectly cooked and entirely eaten. 100% true.
Oh, you ate it. See, I love Bobby in class. You ever heard Dirty
Yeah,
Johnny?
Dirty Johnny jokes, yes. Heard the whole series,
In
yeah.
this joke, he's not dirty. But anyways, the teacher has a thing, and the teacher says, today in class, we are going to have a little experiment. You're going to tell a story from your real life, and then afterwards, you are going to tell the moral of that story. You know? So Sheila puts up her hand, and the teacher says, Sheila, what's your story? So Sheila says, well, my dad works at the hatchery, and he took some eggs, and he put them all in a basket. All the eggs he put in one basket. And then he put them in the horse and buggy, and off we went to town, and the earth was uneven, and the eggs broke. And the teacher goes, well, that's an all right story, but I can't understand what the moral would be to that story. So Sheila says, well, the moral is, don't put all of your eggs into one basket. So the teacher says, well, by God, this is exactly what I'm looking for, and what I was hoping for with this experiment.
Yeah.
And anybody else have one? So Marjorie puts up her hand. Okay, Marjorie, what's your story? Well, my father works for the hatchery. Most of us.
Most people in that town worked in the hatchery.
Worked at the hatchery.
Thank God for the hatchery, she says. Or where would we be? So she says, my father, he sells chickens. And he knows that eggs become chickens. See what I mean? So he had to count his chickens so he could go and sell them in town. So he had 9 chickens and 5 eggs. So instead of saying he had 9 chickens, he added the 5 eggs. You see, he counted them as chickens. So he said, I have 14 chickens. So he took them, Sheila says, and put them in the horse and buggy, and off they went to town, but the land was uneven. The chickens just survived easily. They frolicked. The eggs broke. Well, the teacher says again, it's a story, you know. But what on earth could the moral of that story be? Well, Sheila says, if that's her name, I forgot. She says, don't count your chickens,
before they hatch out of the eggs.
Right.
Teacher says you could probably shorten it a little. So, but that's great. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And then she looks at the back of the class, and by God, there's the upraised hands of, as you say, fucking Dirty Johnny.
Fucking Dirty Johnny. He's going to ruin the lesson.
So the teacher, inside of her head, her thoughts are moving around, and she's like, God, I don't want to hear Dirty Johnny say that. This is going so well, but at the same time, I took a vow, and I became a teacher that every student... All right, Johnny, let's hear your story. So Dirty Johnny gets up, and he says, this is a story about my Uncle Terry. He didn't work for the hatchery. He didn't even like people that did. He was in Vietnam. And he lives on the disability checks he got. Uncle Terry was not a popular man, not even among those he worked with. And I suppose we've all heard of people who've deserted from their battalion. But I don't know if you've ever heard of a battalion deserting a man. That's what they did with Uncle Terry. One day, Uncle Terry awoke in the middle of Da Nang, and everybody was gone. He was alone, and they'd left him 3 bottles of Jack Daniels and some weaponry. So, Uncle Terry got up, says Dirty Johnny, and he downed the bottle of Jack Daniels in 2 slugs, and he threw it down and smashed it into the jungle. And then he walked, picked up the 2 Kalashnikovs and 3 or 4 Glocks and a couple of hand grenades, and off he walked into the unknown, the jungle, his fate. Came upon a village, and from the village came people. Now, were they Charlie, or were they the people that Terry was sent to protect from Charlie? Uncle Terry didn't know. But he knew he had to do something, so he took another swig from the bottle, and he let loose. Took that Kalashnikov, and he let it sway like a farmer would a scythe. And the bullets came, and just as hay would fall before a farmer, so the people fell before Uncle Terry. The men, the women, and by God, even the children. And finally, Uncle Terry stood alone in the mud and the blood and the guts and the... only at himself. He took a long swig, and his hand brushed against his pants, and he felt wetness, and then he felt shame because he realized he had urinated himself in fear. And then, upon closer inspection, he realized it was not urine. It's ejaculate. And his shame was replaced by pride. And that teacher goes, holy fucking shit, what the fuck? Fucking kind of fucking story is that? Like, we just heard the hatchery and shit, and now this? She goes, well, Dirty Johnny, what on earth could be the moral to such a story? So Johnny thinks about it for a couple of minutes, and he goes, well, I don't know, I guess. Well, I know one thing. You don't fuck with Terry when he's had some drink in him. And he's uncorked the jug. You stay away from Uncle Terry. And he doesn't like anybody that works at the hatchery either. You remember that. You tell your parents that.
Wow.
So that's just to lighten things
what
up.
A joke. Your dad told you that? Your dad was a great storyteller.
That was my dad's story.
You taught us to laugh again, Norm.
Thank you.
Look at that. Ejaculated right in his pants, huh?
Yeah.
Loved killing.
The thrill
of killing.
The thrill of it. Well, who knows? Who knows what it was? Who knows what would happen if you were put in that situation?
Thank you for that story, Norm.
I mean, we always talk about going back and, if you could only go back in time and kill Hitler.
Right, yeah.
But what a horror it would be to go back in time time, meet Hitler, and get hypnotized by him.
And like him.
And then become one of the guys. And then it gets even worse.
They say he was a very powerful speaker. You didn't know. All of a sudden you're killing it.
They say he was a powerful speaker. Then on YouTube, he's like, you're like, what
yelling.
the fucking Christ? Don't vote for him. Vote for anyone else.
You didn't know who Hitler was?
Yeah, like many of us, I didn't. But I do now. And let me tell you something. That guy's no good. Now, I grew up like you, thinking the Nazis were a bunch of funny fellas, because I watched Hogan's Heroes every week. But it wasn't like that. Oh, I know nothing. I see nothing. A lot less funny when you figure that was the cornerstone of the Nuremberg trial. Damn, I wish I had a time machine.
To see that action.
Yeah, no, to take back my question.
Thought you were going to say to murder Hitler.
I would not. You know, people always fucking want to murder Hitler with their time machine, right? But then I feel if I got back there, I'd be afraid of falling under the spell of his fucking beautiful eyes.
It's true. You
and
want
oratory, and
be
then
locked in the gaze.
Yeah, and then I join the fucking party,
That's
knowing
his
me.
thing. He gives you his full attention. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe there's something to this guy.
No, but before you ask another serious
Believe it or not, they're telling us to wrap it up. I don't exactly know why you got
it. This is fun for everyone.
It's the
For the
Lonely
record,
Island, guys.
I would have killed Hitler. So thanks, gentlemen.
Can I just clarify? if I did go back in time to kill Hitler, I would do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't get
That's
lost
the-
in
that's
his
the front
eyes
door
and then
choice.
bail.
Yeah.
Just so I don't get like hit from all the like
I know, all the-
defamation
Yeah, no,
leads.
you would end it. Yeah.
Pro.
Listen,
Okay.
man, I'm sorry about
We gotta wrap it up.
I'm sorry
It's
about
over.
bringing up Hitler.
You really brought this live show to a new
This is
low.
the first one, right? This is your first interview?
It's just gonna get worse from
This is
here.
the first time I've ever been interviewed a
Just
man.
sign
If you
of
can bring
things to
Hitler
come.
into all of them, they're going to ask you back for sure, which is I know what you want.
That's what we're all hoping.
These kind of characters. I think we should kill Hitler. Me and you, go suicide, kill him.
Right. It's like died 50 years ago,
Did
probably.
he? I didn't
Yeah.
even know he was sick.
He wasn't.
Lucy Mellenby's Norm Macdonald.
Okay, good.
You're going to show both of us how to cook something fantastic today. Is that
Yes,
correct?
we're going to do the most amazing red mullet with some fennel orange, and on the back of how bad you were last time, this is going to be cooked in a bag.
Okay, we're going to cook this in a bag.
Yes.
You are known, you clap your hands a lot,
Yes.
you yell at people, you're intimidating. This is going to go very badly.
It's nice you two guys. Now,
All right,
come on.
very good.
Right, first thing I want you to do is to segment an orange,
All
okay?
right.
Norm?
Yeah?
Wakey, wakey. Okay.
Well, no one else in the world says segment an orange.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just cut the edges off. That's what you want, right?
No,
you want to...
you've already started the wrong end. Look, that's the bit there.
All right, all right. Well,
No, so
okay.
just top and tail it like that. Look, come on, wake up, stand
I'm
there.
up to 4 segments. Why, you didn't tell me a number of segments?
No.
He wants the edges off, I
What am I
think.
supposed to do?
Hey!
Okay, Norm, so go from there, look, all the way round.
Yeah.
Yes?
7 minutes of
Okay.
audio will play for this
Now,
whole hour.
All the way there. Once you've gone all
Between
the
you
way
two
round.
guys. All right, here we go, yeah.
Conan, pay attention, please.
Yeah,
Watch.
all right, I'm over here. I got
Okay.
my own orange going.
Okay,
all right.
watch. All the way round, so we're taking off the skin.
all
Then
right.
from
Yeah,
there.
you're not teaching me, you're
No.
just showing off.
And then from there, that's a segment.
There you go. All right.
There you see.
Cheerio and
Left
chop
and
chop.
right.
There we go.
Off you
All
go.
right.
Now, watch your fingers.
I'll
Now.
do that.
All right.
And then after that?
All right.
Okay.
Now look at this. Mine's pretty good
Sure.
over here. There's some
Sure.
sections of skin still, but what the hell?
Where's the orange gone?
And it's like 1 in the morning. Who, you know?
We'll figure that one. Right, fennel. Okay. Here we go. Now with the fennel, okay.
All right. Whoa,
Just
okay.
push it off and just
Yep.
slice that down nice and thin.
That I
okay?
can do. That
okay.
looks. See, that was explained.
Watch your
I
fingers.
segmented another one.
Where's the segment?
What?
Where is it?
I threw it over there.
Oh, jeez. Okay, look.
All right, I'm doing well, Gordon. I will
That's
be
the
the
good
one.
part. That's the inside part.
Right. Okay.
All right,
okay.
stop yelling.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Good.
Right. That's great.
All right.
Now from there, take your bag.
All right.
Okay. Now we'll do one each. Okay.
Why would you become a cuck?
Come on, Norm. Keep it together. Okay. It's not that bad. Big boy.
Okay, all right.
The word chef.
Chef,
All right.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
chef. You're right. I'm sorry.
Ladies cook.
I
Okay.
know.
All right. Whoa.
Right. That's a joke. Oh. All right.
No, you
Okay.
won't. Hey! We can bleep out the swears, but when there's this going around, I can't do anything with that. What the hell was that?
I was waving.
All right, so we got the vegetables in the bag.
Okay. Right. Fennel.
Fennel. The fennel goes in the bag. That's what you would need the bag.
I need. Okay.
None of this will air. You're going to show an old F troop in this section.
So, fennel.
All right, fennel in here.
Okay, on
By
there.
the way, there's a bottle of booze.
Oh, hey.
Norm is supposed to be following me.
All right. So he
Oranges.
puts oranges in here.
And then
This
from
is a
there,
mess.
red
Okay.
mullet.
Red mullet is a kind of fish.
No, knife doesn't go in the bag.
No, I got you.
You'll slice someone's throat open, Norm.
Yeah.
Okay, right. From there, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, olive oil.
Okay, little olive oil, little aglio de olio.
Now, from there, now watch carefully, a little bit of seasoning. Okay.
Whoa, okay.
Norm, you're making me feel dizzy standing there looking busy. Right, here we go.
This is cool. I'll tell you one thing, man. I'm not eating this in years.
Why are we even having a cooking segment at this point? Why would there even be a cooking segment? Why would anybody even have a cooking segment with you people?
Here we go.
Ridiculous.
No, right here. Right, fold the bag over.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
nice and tight.
All right.
Okay, and then from there, twist the paper so
Twist
we
the
seal the
paper.
end.
All right.
Nice and tight.
God, I hope he's
Nice
a
and-
magician.
Nice and tight.
A bird's gonna come out. Yeah, all right, here we go.
All the way,
right.
all the way round.
All right,
Okay.
chop, chop.
Now, from there, a little hole.
A little hole.
Okay,
right there.
and then from there, pour a little bit of wine in there.
It's a big waste of wine right there, buddy boy.
Okay.
All right, right
and
in
then
here.
from there, turn it round. Okay.
What?
Come on, no. You're gonna be tight. Tight.
He does it and then goes, look what Norm did.
We got to keep it nice and tight.
This is not going to air. This will never be seen by anybody. This will never be seen by anybody.
Just concentrate.
We've learned. Okay, what does it look like at
Okay.
the end? Oh,
Right.
look, it just came out magically from a pan.
This is how it's cooked. As it cooks, it steams inside the bag, okay? Then you rip it open, and there you got a beautifully steamed red mullet, orange, and fennel.
It never gets better than that. Do it exactly the way we did, using the same language and the same obscene gestures. Gordon Ramsay, Norm Macdonald, my apologies, everyone. Right back. Leland Helm is here.
What's up, man? Hi. Yeah, man, it's live. It's Saturday night. You guys have a bunch of twinkly things. They didn't tell me everything before I got out here. They didn't tell me that there would be twinkling things. But I can deal with it. But no, listen. I was. It harkened me back listening to the beautiful speaking, like, you know, because I remember that. You know, it's 8 o'clock. And do you know where your children's at and stuff? And it harkened back to me because a half hour earlier, I was saying the same thing. I was in the restaurant. I was like, it's 7:30, man. Anybody know where my pork chop is? You ever try to get a pork chop at this joint? I mean, you guys like pork? You don't like pork? Call yourself Americans? No, listen. I'll tell you something about this restaurant. I don't know about in here if you get special stuff, but where I was eating, I asked for a Coca-Cola because that's my favorite drink, you know. I go, hey, man, can I have a Coca-Cola? And they said, we don't got that. We got Pepsi-Cola. I was like, oh. And this is a new thing that's happening, I've noticed, across the country. I'd like to get to the bottom of it because Coca-Cola is a delicious drink. And oftentimes, you go to a town, you go, hey, man, where do I go to get a Coke? And they're like, yeah, not here, fella. You know? They have their towns that Pepsi has somehow, even though Coke, and people, see, they think in their minds, they think that if your favorite drink in the entire world is Coca-Cola, then your second favorite drink will be Pepsi-Cola, which is flawed reasoning. Actually, if your first favorite drink is Coca-Cola, your least favorite drink is Pepsi-Cola. That's how it works. And you can tell they're kind of ashamed of you. You got a Coke? They're like, nah, Pepsi. They give you a lot of that. Is that okay? So you go, no, I don't want that. What else you got? You got any other soda? And then when they got the Pepsi, they always have these weird other sodas. They go, oh, yeah, we got different. We got, you like root beer? We got that. And you're like, well, I'm not 8. I don't know. We got Diet Pepsi. What are you even asking me that? I just said. We got Sierra Mist. Oh, I'm glad, man. I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to ask, but I didn't dare, because every time I go, they don't have it. But that's my favorite drink. You go to a restaurant, you go, hey, here's the whitefish. What do you want with that? You got any Sierra Mist? Give me that. What? No Sierra Mist. What kind of hen house horse shit is this? Trying to run a joint here? What kind of business? Honey, get your coat. I'll get the car. I'll bring the car around. You get your coat. I have Sierra Mist. Can you believe these characters? Kind of a. But no, I had a pork. I had a nice, delicious piece of pork, a pork chop, Pork, I don't know. I don't think it's that good for you, but I like it. I'm pretty sure it's not good for you because it's a pig. But I like it. Anything with a snout, I don't think you're supposed to eat. I think that may be in the scriptures. I'm not sure, but I recall something about that. My doctor has me on a snoutless diet right now. He says I got to exercise every day, aerobics and latissimus dorsi, all that shit, get my back and everything, and then no snouts. But no, my friend, let me tell you something. My friend, who is a vegetarian, she's a girl, like all the vegetarians are, and you don't mean a lot of dudes, But anyway, she was talking to me about the vegetarianism stuff, right? Now, have you ever had this experience where you think something's right your whole life, and then in a moment, in a flash, you realize you've been wrong about everything you've ever believed ever. Not everything, but that one thing. By the way, if you ever wake up and you realize you've been wrong about everything in your entire life, that's not a good day then. You may as well go down to the rope store and buy yourself a length of rope. Then go down to the stool store, get yourself a nice stool. Then you go over to the notepad store, you buy yourself a notepad. Then you get a pen. You only really need 4 things. And must be hard to write those notes. What, I'm supposed to write it on this little thing? Everything that drove me to end my life? I don't know where to start. But, anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, pork. No, because my friend, who's a vegetarian, this girl, she was telling me, we always argue because she's a vegetarian, and I am not a vegetarian. And so she has her opinions, and I have my opinions, and I realized that her opinions are actually stronger than my opinions. Like, she'll say to me, she goes, you can't eat animals because they're God's creatures too, you know what I mean? And you shouldn't destroy another creature of our great God just so that you could have a frivolous meal that would not be necessary. You can't extinguish the life of and then I go, I like pork. That's my opinion. So that's not a good argument at all. So anyways, the upshot of it is that people can change, thank God, through the glory of God. People can come to changes in life. And I am now a vegetarian, so that's nice, Thank you very much. I'm not a strict vegetarian. I eat meat, but I am a vegetarian, but not a strict one. I only eat meat. You know what I don't like is vegetables. I can't eat those. I can't stand eating vegetables. So in the strictest term, strictest use of the word, strict, I'm not a strict vegetarian. But you know what she does, my friend that is a vegetarian? She makes this thing every Thanksgiving. I don't know if you've ever eaten this. It's called a tofurkey. Tofu, it's an unwieldy word. No one likes to hear it. But it's a turkey, but it's not really a turkey, Sounds like a turkey because it's got a lot of the same letters. But what they do is they take tofu, you see, and then they fashion it into the countenance of a turkey. Yeah? Which doesn't fool me. And also, I don't understand why she does it on account of she's making it into the thing that she doesn't want to eat in the first place. You know, that seems... I would not do that, you know. Like I'm against cannibalism, you know. As you all know, as any of you know that follow me on the Google space, WW. I have gone across this country with my anti-cannibal stance, you know. Talking to people from one side of this great nation to the other. Every year I put my toe in the Pacific and I travel this great land with my anti-cannibal message. You know? Mostly the young people. I try to educate the young people. You know, I go to the schools and I go, listen. You might think that you're going to be the cool guy because you eat a dude friend of yours, you know? And maybe you will for a couple of years, you know? Maybe you'll be the big man on campus. Oh, that's Jim. He ate a fella. But there's more to it than that. No, I use my time for you know what I do? I do a lot of charity work for things that people, I don't like arguing with people, you know, when they have another opinion than me. So what I do is I pick very popular opinions and then I work for those people. Like, for instance, there was, you know the landmine big thing? Princess Diana, one of the greatest people who ever lived, she was against landmines. So tragically, she died, you know, before her landmine crusade really got rolling, you know. And of course, it was a terrible tragedy and everything like that. And then she died, and hey, how about this? Remember when she died, and then Elton John wrote that song for her, but it was the same song that he wrote for Marilyn Monroe? It seems like kind of a jip. But the king's like, hey, man, you wrote a song for my daughter? I don't know if there's a king. You wrote a song for Princess Diana? Yes. Well, you all ready? She just died an hour ago. Yeah, I wrote it. I wrote it. And here it is. She lived her life like a candle in the wind. Wait a minute. It sounds like that song you wrote about Marilyn Monroe. Well, it's a little bit. Some of the same words. Why'd you do that? Because they're similar when you think about it. Come on. Marilyn Monroe, she was taking crazy drugs and promiscuous, running around. Man, you know, you never knew if she was going to live or die. She's just living her life crazy like a candle in the wind, you know. And Princess Di, she lived in a castle. But, you know, they're sort of the same. They were blonde. I got to go. But anyways, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, that I am very against landmines. So I will go and I will make, I'll go to protests, you know, and I'll have that big sign that says, no more landmines. Because if you don't know about landmines, hey, you're educating me about stuff tonight. I'll educate you a little about landmines, you know, because there's many different causes, you know. And landmines are terrible. What they are is they put them underneath the earth, and then you step on them, and they blow you up. So I go there, and I protest against them. And what's fun about it is there's very few counter-protesters. You know, there's a couple of guys out there, but clearly these guys are in the pocket of the big landmine companies in this country. I don't mean to get all Bill Maher on you or anything, but if you think that the landmine companies in this country care about you, the little person, they don't care about you. They care about blowing you up when you're not expecting it. That's how they make their money. No. But, no, I was going to say about, she makes this tofu. And what I was going to say was that as a anti-cannibal guy, it would never occur to me to do the same thing as she does with her tofurkey. I would not take all my delicious cheese sandwiches and fashion them into the shape of some old rotting corpse of some dude and then eat that. That would make it at least less tasty than the cheese sandwich itself, to me. Well, listen, it's easy to go around saying, hey, I'm against cannibalism. Oh, I'm anti-cannibalism. Look at me. I'm better than everybody else, I know it's easy to say because I say it every day to people. But actually, when you think about it, you don't really know how you're going to, how your cannibalism beliefs are going to stand up under when it comes up. Because you'll notice in life, cannibalism rarely comes up. There's always some cheese sandwiches around you can find, But what about when you're in the Andes? No? Then all bets are off. You have to wrestle with your conscience because you're in the Andes. I don't even know why people go to the Andes, but they do. They go, hey, listen, travel agent, me and the wife, Ruth, Ruth, we're going, we got to get away from the kids again this year. We got to go to an island. We were hoping something on the other side of the Andes. Anything you got there? We just want to relax, lay on a hammock or something, and we want to go to a nice place that is separated from where we are now by the Andes. And got any small planes? We like flying in small aerofoils in the dead of winter. You got anything like that? And they're like, yeah. So you get on the plane, and 20 minutes later you crash into a mountain, because everyone knows it's on the boarding pass. It says layover a mountain. So you crash into the mountain, and then you gotta wrestle with your conscience, because you're down there, and the guy in 24E is looking pretty delicious. And so days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into months. Months, you know how time works, right? I don't have to explain everything. Then becomes now. So and then you have to wrestle with your conscience because you're like, my conscience. And your conscience is very, if you don't want to wrestle with your conscience because, so, although it's not as hard as wrestling with an actual wrestler, I find. If you have your choice between wrestling with your conscience and wrestling with a professionally trained wrestler, I'd take the conscience because it doesn't even have arms. And for wrestling, the headlock is the biggest move. If you don't have arms. So anyways, you're wrestling with your conscience and you're like, oh man, should I eat that guy in 24E? I don't know. He looks pretty good, but I don't think it's right and all this stuff. And then time goes on and you get, and instead of just acting right away, which would probably be the smarter thing, you wait way too long and months pass and then you go crazy and then you go after Frank, that's his name, in 24E, and you're just, you're so hungry now, you're tearing into him, you're like, Frank, blood all over you and everything, Anyways, and that's the last. And this is what you don't want to happen at that point, is for the rescue plane to come over at that very moment, Well, you're like, what the? They're like, we have hamburgers and hot dogs here on the plane, and delicious cheese sandwiches, everything you want here. You're like, what? A lot of snow. Oh, Lord God. Let me get a drink of this water. You like water? It's better than that Pepsi shit. Ow. Water's good for you. What about guys? You ever just have guys that have their favorite water? They're like, Fiji, that's what I drink. Water, Fiji water. It's the most tasteless, colorless water of all. This one has 0 fat, like I'm a retard. Like I wouldn't be able to detect globules of fat in my water. It's cyanide free. No, but listen, man. I'm not afraid of no monsters, you know. We spend, when you think about it, man, we spend most of our adult life petrified of monsters, you know. And I'm just coming to I'm saying enough, man. You know, I'm not gonna live under the tyranny of these monsters that walk among us. You know, if they get me, they get me. And some of them, I don't even know what's so scary about them. Like now they got a movie I've seen, Wolfman, you know, which is very scary, right? A Wolfman, you know, they got a movie, and it's like a werewolf. I think it's exactly the same. I'm not sure. I haven't studied it close enough. But I believe, like, if a Wolfman came at you and stuff, you went, werewolf, people wouldn't go, it's a Wolfman, you idiot. But my point is this. I am not afraid of a wolfman or a werewolf because when you think about what they are, they're half man and half wolf. So therefore, I am only half afraid of them as I am of a wolf. And there's no movie called The Wolf. See, if you got a wolf man, half the time he's a man. You can reason with him. Yeah? You can sit down and have a cheese sandwich. But a wolf, man, you can't reason with a wolf. A wolf only wants to eat you. I'm not afraid of a werewolf. I'm not afraid of ghosts. They don't scare me, you know? Not at all. I mean, I don't want to say I'm invulnerable to fear, but they simply don't frighten me. You know? First of all, what do? You know? They just go, which that's not that scary to me. Yeah? And then they're invisible. They're like, and you're like, what? You're invisible. You can put your hand through them. That kind of a person never frightens me. You know the kind of guys that frighten me? You ever meet those guys where you can't put your hand through them? I don't care for those fellas. But when I can put my hand through them, it doesn't scare me in the least. This is how unscary they are. I was at a hotel a couple of weeks ago. In the lobby, they were saying they were bragging about there was a ghost in the hotel. You know, how scary can that be? You know what I mean? They're like, every night, Mary with the blue dress. That was her nickname. She was murdered, and she hangs around the bed. You know what I mean? And she'll come over, and so beware, because Mary with the blue dress. Which was her nickname, which was an odd nickname, because you'd think her nickname would be Mary the Ghost. You know. When they came time to pick out her nickname, you know, I think they were like, They go, hey, what do you notice about Mary that makes her distinctive? We got to come up with a nickname for her. I know she wears a lot of blue dresses. She seems to have an affinity toward blue dresses. You're talking about Mary, right? The transparent lady? So I would call her Mary the Ghost. And anyways. And all they seem to do is complain, these ghosts. You ever know that? I was like, I can't. Everything's wrong. They're never happy or nothing, you know? Like, something bad happened to me. And if I don't get it cleared up, I have to travel all through the world in pain and sorrow, you know? And then I'm like, well, I do too. What the hell? At least you get to walk through walls and stuff. You get to do cool stuff. I think I'll have some more water. I love water. You know, I used to do news on Saturday Night Live, and sometimes people think I know something about news. That's the funny part, because I don't know anything about news. And, like, I'll watch it on the TV, and I don't know what they're talking about, you know. And but I watch it all the time, you know. I'll turn on the TV, and then they go, welcome, the deficit. And I go, ha, ha, ha. I've heard that word before. Yeah, that's about all I know. But I watch it. You don't have to know about everything, you know. When I was young, you didn't have to know about anything. Now you have to know about everything. Everybody got an opinion and stuff. Yeah. You're supposed to know about every single... One guy asked me a couple weeks ago, he goes, Norm, how do you feel about stem cell research? I was like, me? Why don't you go, tell you what, why don't you go to scientist school for 10 years, and then I'll come back here to this very spot, and I'll tell you what those 3 words mean. How's that? I don't know. I don't know. That's mostly my answers. And a lot of people don't know. Like you'll see on the, if you ever watch the news, you ever see the news? It's on at 6. They show the news, right? And they'll have a question. And a lot of people don't know, just like me. They'll have a question. They'll show a pie chart. So they'll say, does President Barack Obama deficit reduction, question mark, something like that. And then they show a pie chart, you know, so you go, oh, man, that looks like a pie. You know, you get happy. And then they have like it cut up, and I'll say like 47% yes, 48% no, 5% I don't know. So that's like me, you know. There's no shame in that. No shame at all. Well, I phone them every time there's a one of those things on CNN, like one of those polls. I phone up. I want to get on that pie chart. You know, I phone up. I go, hello, excuse me. Is this the TV? Yeah, you just asked me a question. I don't know. How the hell am I supposed to know? I didn't even understand most of the words in the question. What's that cost? $1.50? Is that what it said at the start of it? Excellent. All right. I better get on that pie chart. I'll tell you that. I'm not a guy to throw away 12 bits on, you know, on nothing. To tell you to be quite honest with you, nothing. Oh, look at that. So, yeah, I don't know a lot about stuff, you know. Like sometimes when I go to parties and stuff, because everybody got opinions and stuff like that, what I'll do is I go to parties not to talk opinions with people and elevate myself or anything like that. I go to parties to try to get me some free sandwiches, you know, because I find at parties often you can find, if you look, cheese sandwiches for free. And often what they do is they'll put other stuff in it, you have to take it out, so you just get the cheese, but whatever, you know. It's free. And but the other people I notice, they go there to converse and talk of the issues of the day and so forth like that at the parties, and I don't like that kind of stuff, you know. So I tried, and I don't know anything. See what I mean? So what I'll do is before I go to the party, I just turn on the TV, you know, on one of them channels with news, and then there's a guy with a suit and a tie. I just say whatever he says. I'll say that at the party, and it usually works. I'll just go to the party, and everybody will be yapping. They'll be like, deficit and health care, trillion, billion. Then I go, yeah. Hey, I got an opinion. Listen to this now. I blame the media. Because the media is not entirely without fault when you think about it. I mean, you know, you can't just completely say that the media is... Anybody seen them sandwiches? The fellow over there was telling me there were sandwiches where they cut the crusts off and they're in triangles. The fellow over there. And he said they had toothpicks with frilly toothpicks in them. None is. Not a single one is. All right, fair enough. But I have a thing, see, I have a thing where I can judge guys that are at my own smartness level. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you ever got caught talking to a smart guy. You ever have that happen to you? That's not a lot of fun. Like you're at a party and you're at that kitchen part where there's that big square thing. I don't know what it is, but you're all standing around, and then there's 5 of you and 3 of you leave, and it's just you and the smart guy, and the guy's got a pipe or something. He's like, anyway, How about that leader from the foreign country? What about his name? You're like, I'm going to go ahead and look for them sandwiches. But I'm coming back to talk to you. I'm not running away, if that's what you think. I'm not going to run out that side door right over there and run full speed down the street. Don't think that. No. So what I do, I have a very good, I can go to my own, you know what I mean? The people that are at my smartness levels. So if I'm in a party, right, I can go right into the party and immediately, like they, you know, they say gay guys have gaydar, they can sense other gay people. I'm like that with like guys of my dumb level. I can walk up, I can just go, immediately I'll say, hey, I bet I can keep up with that guy over there. Then I make a beeline over for that character. And then we talk about, you know, Jughead comics or something for a while, I don't know. We have a grand old time. And I try to pocket a couple of cheese sandwiches and take off. But it's hard to talk to anybody just in regular life, you know? I don't know how to do it, especially like one-on-one, like talking, you know? It's so hard to, with people, you know, like my friend was saying, you gotta listen. That's the most important thing in a conversation. Listen to the person that's talking to you. But that's not enough, because eventually that other guy will stop talking. I'm good at that part. But, and then you go, oh, sorry, I forgot to think of something to say there. You keep talking, and the next time you stop, I'll say something. So you got to do two things at once. So you got to listen to the guy, everything he's saying, plus anything he says that you may know something about, you know, you got to keep that in your head for when he stops talking. You know what I mean? So maybe he's yapping, and all of a sudden he mentions Fonzie or something like that, right? So then, in the back of your head, you go, hey, wait a second, I know something about Fonzie. So as this idiot stops talking, I'll say my Fonzie thing. Excellent. Excellent. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo. Doodly-doodly-doo. Ah. Peace. So this is what it feels like, huh? Doo-doo-doodly-doo. And then maybe the guy changes the subject. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa! Hold on a second there. Wait a minute. No, it's interesting what you're saying now. It's interesting. Hey, but what about then? Remember then? It was earlier? And now? You were talking about Fonzie. Yeah, anyways. Interesting thing about Fonzie is this. It's not his real name. Arthur Fonzarelli. That's a true fact, man. You can Google that up on the W. All right, you talk for a while now. You know, it goes on from there. But I don't know. The news, I mean, some of the news I understand, you know, like, but that news isn't real news, you know what I mean? It's just odd, crazy, like Tiger Woods, who's still in it, you know, in this tournament, which is depressing for me because I like Tiger and stuff. And then, you know, Tiger victimized himself, first of all, his family, but and all these women and everything. But he also victimized the golf fan, me. You know what I mean? The guy, I believed in him and I trusted him, and so it was kind of sad for me because I don't care if a guy wants to lie down with ladies and stuff like that. You know, I understand that's a thing guys like to do, but I don't like hypocrisy. You understand what I'm saying? I don't like a hypocrite. And to me, Tiger, when I was watching him, he always presented himself to me as a golfer. You know? I always thought he was a great golfer. I watched him my whole, you know, life. And he'd be in the sand hitting it out, and then the golf ball would come real close, you know what I mean, to the hole. And then he'd put it and he'd go like that and everything. So I was all happy. I go, man, that guy's a golfer. People would ask me, who's Tiger Woods? I go, he's a golfer. Right? Now, I had no idea he was leading this double life where by day he was a golfer and by night he was laying down with ladies. Otherwise, I never would have bought the Buick. Now I'm driving around a Buick. People snickering at me and stuff, you know? Whatever. No, but he's a sex addict, and that's a hard one. I imagine that's a tough one to kick. Wouldn't that be the worst? Like those meetings, like a sexaholic. If they have those meetings, what do they call them? They always say aholic. It only really works with alcohol. Like sex, AA, yeah, for sex. That would be a weird. I don't know how that would go. But you know, if you haven't had sex for like a year or something, and then you don't want to hear about some guy's relapse. You know, guy's like, I've been weak. Oh no, you don't have to tell us. I met her in a bar. She was gorgeous. Please. You have to hug the guy. That's too bad. Oh, that's terrible. Well, we all, whatever. But I don't even know if sex. I don't even know if that's a thing. I don't know. You know, it's weird to me because if you're an addict, if you're a heroin addict, you're addicted to heroin. The more heroin you do, the more addicted you are. Booze addict, you're addicted to booze. More booze you do, bigger addict you are, you know? So to me, if you're a sex addict, let's say, you know, sometimes you meet these guys like, hey, man, this guy's 70 years old, and he's been married since he was 20. Still happy, still have a healthy sex life, still has sex with his wife, you know, every week or so, you know? Then wouldn't you think, that guy's a sex addict? He is a sex addict to such a degree that he's willing to have sex with a 70-year-old lady. That's hitting bottom there, you know. If you're going around getting a whole bunch of different ladies, that's not a sex addict. That's just a beautiful lady addict. I don't know what you call that. But if you're willing to just anything at all, just whatever's beside you after 50 years, you're like, I don't even like you anymore, but or whatever they do, whatever noise they make. But, man, I don't like those news stories that's scary either, man. That's why I don't like watching the news no more. Because when I was a kid, just news stories be real stuff, you know, like about the world or whatever. But now they'll have little personal stories that have nothing to do with nobody, and they present it as the news, you know, and then you don't want to see them, you know. And I noticed that the latest one, they all seem to have, the show will open the news, and there'll be a guy with a suit and a tie, so you know he's a newsman. And he goes, hey, our top story tonight, a lady has vanished. And you're like, oh, yeah? And they go, yes, she's gone. Yeah, yeah? Do I know her? No. You never heard of her, but we're going to tell you about her. We got Bill. He's on the outside. They have one guy inside, one guy outside. Bill, what's going on? And then Bill's outside. He's like, yeah, the lady vanished. Her name was Janice, and nobody can find hiding her hair of her car. Was found in the car is fine. It's in the Burger King lot, but we can't find a lady. All right, back to you. And you know, so then you're at home, you go, well, I don't give a damn on account I never knew her in the first place. How can I possibly care? As a matter of fact, I'm happy it's her and not someone I know. So, but then they go, we'll tell you about it. You go, no, that's cool, you know. I don't really want to know. But they can't help themselves, you know. They go, here is she. Oh, hey, Bill, you still outside? And he's like, yeah, of course. And they go, we understand you have some friends, a Janice. To tell you about? Yes, we've been talking to some of her friends anyways. Turns out she's a good lady. Breaking news, Janice was a good lady. And we got some of her friends here going to talk about it. And then they show a lady and says, Janice's friend. And she says, oh, Janice, man, she was the greatest. She was the kind of person where you could walk into a room and she would light up the whole room. You know, it was amazing. She didn't have a light or nothing like that. She would just somehow, through sheer tyranny of will, she could make a room light up. Some of us thought it was supernatural, but And then this is other Janice's friend. Oh, Janice. She was the type of lady I remember that you could always turn to. You know how sometimes you want to turn your neck, you know, because you're having troubles. You want to, you know, or your neck hurts, whatever. But when you turn, the person you most want to see in your eye line would be Janice, you know. And then, if you say Janice's other friend that wasn't one of the first two. Well, Janice, she's the kind of person, you could be talking to your best friend the whole world, you know, and then Janice come in and go, screw you, I'm talking to Janice. You know, you go over to Janice. She's a better person than you. It's Janice. And so then at home, you start to get invested in Janice. You start liking her, you know what I mean? And every day they show you more about Janice, you know, and they show different home videos of her, and you're like, hey, honey, look. Oh, I like that hat she's wearing. She's eating a piece of pizza, you know? And you start really liking her, you know? You go, man, that lady's nice. I'd like to meet her one day. I forgot she vanished. Oh, well, they'll find her. I'm sure of this. Then you get hope, you know, and all you can think about is Janice. You know? Your feverish dreams are commanded by Janice's spirit, you know? You can't even think right, you know? And every day you're turning on the news, man, what's going on with Janice? And they keep going, telling, you know, and things progress, you know, and Bill's still outside, and he's like, we're still looking, it's been 3 weeks now. But as we speak, everyone's combing the woods behind me as we speak. And then you're at home, you go, oh, no, not the woods. You don't like to hear that. Nothing good ever happens in the woods. I've seen enough of these stories to realize that Janice is not going to come bounding out of the woods anytime soon. It's like, hey, what's going on, everybody? I was just taking a stroll through the woods. What's going on? Why are you taking pictures of me anyway? What's going on? Now, if they find you in the woods, generally, they find you in one spot. As a matter of fact, exclusively, every time, if you're found in the woods, you're found in a shallow grave. That's the way it works. I don't know why, but I've seen enough Bill Curtis specials to know that shallow grave is where you want to end up. Certain things you don't want on your death certificate. One would be shallow grave. Massive. You wouldn't want to see that on your death certificate, the word massive. Or maybe you would. I don't know. Maybe that'd be a good one. What about complications? That's the one that always confused me. I'm like, what the fuck? You go, hey, Doc, what did my dad die again? It's complicated. It's complications. He died from them. Well, how'd that work? You told me it was going to be a simple operation. Yeah, we thought it was. You're not a doctor, are you? It looked simple in the book. But once we cut him open, man, a lot of red stringy stuff in your dad. Very complicated when you get in there, really. Well, anyways, goodbye. So, yeah, you don't want to see shallow grave in any of your, you know, in any of the Fourth Estate's account on your being dispatched. So, and also, doesn't it seem a little rash, a shallow grave, you know? Like after all their planning, these serial killers, they're supposed to be so cunning, you know, so diabolical according to the TV movies I've seen. And doesn't it seem a little rash at the end that all of a sudden it's just shallow grave, you know? It's just, wouldn't you think they'd go to a little, yeah? There's like, there you go, a couple of leaves and a twig. Doesn't look like Janice. I don't remember Janice having twigs and leaves all over her. Nobody will find her. A Boy Scout ain't going to stumble over her tomorrow morning. I know that much. I'm going home and await the authorities. And then they go home. Now, I would, if I ever did that, and I would never slaughter and kill a woman. I want you to know that. I know I say that now. Who knows? You know. Can't predict the future, but I know there's not a river long enough that does not contain a bend, but I believe right now I would not slaughter a woman. And maybe it's just vanity talking. You know, the scriptures say that man is mostly vanity. But in my vanity, I do not believe I would do it, you know. But if I did do it, if I somehow snapped, because who would ever know, I would plan it out. I'd be very, very careful about it, you know. I would track the lady, you know. Because you know, there's still a stigma, even in today's enlightened society, when you slaughter a lady. So I would track the lady. You understand? I would find out, this is what you gotta do. You gotta find out her habits, you know? Like maybe you go, hey man, I know she goes to that cheese sandwich store every day, and when she comes back, she's got a big paper bag of stuff. I'll bet you anything, there's cheese sandwiches in there. Eh? So then you put that up in your head. Lady likes cheese sandwiches. It's one piece of information. But you take your time, you know? Then you notice, you see another pattern. You go, hey, every Wednesday night, that lady goes down to the gymnasium and plays basketball with other ladies, which is fine nowadays. So, what I would do is I would stand outside of the gym, you know, and she'd come out there all sweaty with a ridiculously tricolored ball, you know, and she'd be finished her game, and then where would I be? I'd be standing at the other side of the parking lot, and in my hand, what do you think would be resting but a cheese sandwich, right? So then she'd go, hey, what's in your hand? I go, what, nothing? She'd go, yeah, there's something in your hand. I go, there's nothing in my hand. I don't know what you're talking about. She'd go, there's something in your hand. I'm not blind. I see something in your hand. I go, there's nothing in my, oh yeah, this. Oh no, it's just a cheese sandwich. What, why, you like them or something? I got a whole bunch in that van over there. Yeah, that craziest looking van you've ever seen in your life. It's right over there. You want to go through it? You want to go get some? And by the way, if you ever do this, and I don't think you ever should, you don't have to have cheese sandwiches in the van. You know, unless you're proud of your detailed work or something like that. I don't want you to go, if you're a frugal serial killer, I'm the last that would advise you to throw away all kinds of money on cheese and double the amount on bread, you know? Should bread and cheese cost the exact same amount of money? But anyways, I would plan it out. That's what I'm saying. And then I would take the lady and I would never do this, of course, but I would take the lady in the van to a remote area, you know, where there was a wooden shack that I had constructed, and it was silenced to the point that her screams would just echo off the walls, never to reach civilized ear again. And then I would do whatever it is that they do that gives you that godlike power, and then I would take her to the woods and I would bury her in the deepest grave ever. That would be most of my plan. The grave. Like 2 years before I had selected a victim, I would be working on the grave. I'd get 50, 100-foot grave. As a matter of fact, if I had any sense in my head, as my dad used to say about me, I would start digging the grave now. Just in case, because you never know when you're going to snap. You know? I should go home and just dig a big, deep 100-foot grave, yeah? And worst case scenario, like my dad used to say, hey, a little hard work never hurt anybody, goddammit, you know? And best case scenario, I slaughter a lady and get away. If you're gonna slaughter a lady, and I'm completely against it, it's much better to slaughter a lady and get away with it than slaughter a lady and not get away with it. That's just, I don't know, because I've not done either. You know, I would have to talk to one of you that have done both to really get an answer. But I would suspect, like anything, not getting caught, you know, is the better choice than getting caught. You know, it's funny, you know, the things we think we're afraid of, you know? Because the things we're really afraid of in life, like monsters, you know, and serial killers and terrorists and stuff like that, they ain't gonna do nothing, you know? Like, what's the chances, really, you know what I mean? But you're always afraid, like earthquake or something like that, you know, tsunami. You're always afraid of this crazy stuff. But you're not, the stuff that really gets you, you're not afraid of. You don't even think about it, you know? Like you think, you're always like, man, I hope a terrorist doesn't attack and kill me, right? What's the chance of that happening? Like 1 in a billion? You know, a terrorist ain't going to attack and kill you, you know? But what's the chance that you're going to be attacked and killed by your own heart? What, 100%? Yeah, nobody even thinks about that. Nobody even cares about that. Your heart can attack and kill you. And yet people like their hearts, you know. They give you for Valentine's, oh, a heart, ooh. People go, man, that guy's got a big heart. I go, you better fucking watch out on account of I could kill him. Does he know that? That it will attack and kill him when he's not expecting it at all? That's what happened to my dad. His heart attacked and killed him. It was tough. I don't know if you ever loved anybody, but when you love somebody and then their heart attacks and kills them, man, it makes you sad. And my dad, I loved more than anybody, and he never saw it coming, you know. He thought his heart was on his own side. He was looking around for terrorists, shit like that. And just one time, boom, his heart got him. He was lying in his bed, and boom, by the time he hit the floor, they say he was dead. And I saw him, I was the second guy after my mom to see him, and I was, oh, blood, it was black. I thought it'd be red. And he was lying there, and I was so sad. It was the most saddest moment ever. And it was too late. He was dead already, you know. And then the people came in the white, they wear white. They're not doctors, but they wear white. And it was too late. And they just try to make you feel better, you know. They just say anything, you know. Like one guy was like, don't worry, Norm, he never felt a thing. He died in his sleep. And I was like, really? When his heart attacked and killed him? Because I wake up if my cat walks across my belly. So I don't know if my dad was that sound a sleeper. And another guy said, don't worry, Norm, he's in a better place. I say, he's on the floor. Dead. Earlier, he was alive on the bed with the Tempur-Pedic pillow I got him for Christmas. I'm not a doctor, but I think that's the worst place. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I have my faith. So as long as I have my faith, you know, I'm all right. As long as you have faith. If you don't have faith, forget it. You're through. But you know, you can have other things, I guess. You guys drink booze? If you don't have faith, like I have faith, you know, I have deep faith, but if I didn't, I think I'd go for booze. Because it seems like a good thing. My buddy, everybody has diseases. My buddy has alcoholism, which is a disease, and he told me that. He said, Norm, I got a disease of alcoholism, you know, it's taken over my life, and it is a disease, you know. But I was trying to look on the bright side of things, and I told him, I said, listen, Bobby, his name's Bobby, I said, you know, it's true, you got a disease and everything, you know, but you got to look at the bright side, because that's what I believe in. And as far as diseases go, I think you got the best one, I told him, you know. Because it's the only disease where you get to drink a lot of booze all the time. As a matter of fact, that is the disease. Just drinking booze. It's not exactly bowel cancer. You know, like my Uncle Basil, he has bowel cancer. I would not, and I don't think my buddy Bobby, the alcoholic, would ever go to my Uncle Basil and go, hey, I hear you got bowel cancer. I know how you feel, man. I drink booze. Those diseases, good Lord. What are your symptoms? My bowel hurts a lot and I bleed from the bowel. How about you? I get happy. And sometimes I go somewhere, I meet someone that has the same disease as me, and then I have sex with them that night. That's in the latter stages of the disease. But listen, man, I'm just an old chunk of coal, you know? I'm gonna be a diamond someday. Don't worry about it. It'll happen through the grace of God, you know. You guys like God? I mean, you do God's work, you know, even if you don't know it. I have always been very religious, you know. But I'm a specific religion. I don't want to tell you what religion, you know, because I don't know if my religion is the exact correct one. Even though I know there's a God for sure, I'm not 100% sure that my guy is the right guy. And actually, that's one of my biggest fears is after I die, I get up to heaven, I'm like, oh, God, not you. I thought it was the other fella. What? Oh, God, he was a good public speaker, you got to admit that. Not him at all? No? Well, how about that? So what now? I got to get raped by the devil forever or something? So that's my worst fear, you know? Because I try to do good, and I try to, even though I'm an old chunk of coal, I want to be a diamond someday, you know? I want to be the world's best friend, you know, go around shaking everybody's hand, you know what I mean? I want to be a good guy. But maybe God, through even an old wretch like me, can do something. But you guys do things for children. What's better than children? You know what I mean? I had a child. I still have one. He's like 10, 15, something like that. Time goes by so quickly. You know, it's hard to remember details. No. But he's beautiful. When you have a child, man, you got love. It's unbelievable. You never had it before. You realize you've never had it once you have it. You know? Like when you have a child, you go, oh my God, what the hell is that? You know? Like I know you used the word love before and everything like that, but you're like, whoa, that is something. And then your single friends, they don't understand. You go, hey, Jim, man, you got to get one of these. This is the craziest feeling I ever had. Like, I just all through my body, all I feel is like happy. And then the guy goes, is it like crystal meth? And you go, no, what? I don't want to be your friend anymore, friend. No. This is love. So this is love. And then actually, sometimes this is the flip side of it, the bad moment, because you said earlier that you loved other things before you saw this, you know, which is what you really love. And so there's always a bad moment when you're looking at that, and then you look over at your wife. You ever do that? You're like, oh, look at this. That's love. Oh. Hey there, lady, what's going on there? Yes, this is it. And it makes sense, you know, because it's pure and doesn't lie, and it's you, and it's your blood and your DNA and your Aunt Hazel's nose part right there, and everything. And so how can that compete to some lady that you met in a bar one night? How can that possibly compete with that? So anyways. The children. I love children. It's funny, like you can't love children anymore because, you know, even though Jesus, and I'll tell you something, I don't want to say any specific religion is better than all the false ones, but this is the only religion, I'll tell you, that I am against. The Church of Satan. Any retard knows that's not the right one. I think even Satan himself admits it. Anyway. You know, so Jesus was, that's one of the only, I think it's the only religion that puts children at the core, you know, of their religion, you know. They love children. So that's good because I love children. But when my child was young, I was always worry, you know. I remember when he was really young, and I was worried about everything. I remember one time, like he was only 4 days old or something, I was watching TV, and they had a news story. They said, coming up, a news story on crib death. And then I was like, that's where my kid sleeps. You would think crib death would put a crimp in the sales of cribs. If not wipe out the entire industry. That's what I would think. You know? A couple of Toyotas go skidding around, all of a sudden they can't sell cars. But the crib industry, incredibly resilient, actually kills children. One of its defects. I'm calling for a full recall of all the cribs that have killed the children. Oh man, I'm thirsty. La 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 la. So yeah. So I'd probably drink if I wasn't a person of faith, you know. I'd probably drink a lot of booze and stuff like that. That'd be fun. You gotta do something, you know. And yeah, I don't like drinking though. You ever drink those little shooters that are really like powerful and they have like sex names? They have like filthy names. You know what I'm talking about? So they'll have like sex on the beach. You know what I mean? And so I don't know why they name them like that. I guess because people are drunk and they're like, hey, maybe if I drink that will happen to me. But of course, if you have a night of drinking, you're not going to end up having sex on the beach. That's never happened in the history of recorded time. You know? But you're not going to have a shooter bar where you go up and go, yeah, excuse me, can I have a humping a dude I figured was a lady? I swear to God, I thought he was a lady. And also my friend will have a senseless knife fight. You got one of them? Give him one of them. But, you know what? I don't like drinking because I can't drink. I go on the road so often, you know, because I'm a stand-up comic and I'm also a dangerous drifter. So my hobby and my work dovetail very nicely. I drift from town to town, across this great nation, you know, and I do some stand-up comedy. So I'll be in a town, and the policeman feller will say, "How long you in for?" He won't know that I do stand-up. He just knows me as a drifter. He goes, "I see you're in town, huh?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "How long you gonna be here?" I go, "Just till Monday." "Yeah, I work down there. I got a job, see? I got a job." "Well, you can ask Vic." "I'll be asking Vic. And I want you out of here Monday morning the time you say you're going to be out of here." "I will, sir, I will." And off I go. But what I was going to say was that, you know, as I travel this great nation, you know what I would like to do actually is, if there is a Great Depression, is that coming, by the way? Because you guys seem to know more than me. Like, will there be a Great Depression? Like, will I be carrying around at some point a stick with a thing on the back of it? And will I be hanging around big garbage cans with fires and making hot dogs with them and sharing them with my friends? And ganging together, you know? We got to gang together in case the other gangs get us. Huh? I don't know. Keep seeing things on the news. Got to prepare myself. What about those things you see on the commercials where you go, I think everything's like retarded now because something's happening weird, you know? Like, you ever see where they'll go like, have a guy in the commercial and he goes, "Hey, you like gold?" And you go, "Yeah." You go, "You ever think of getting gold? Keeping it? It's worth a lot of money." And you go, "Yes, of course I've thought of that ever since I was 5. Daffy Duck. I first thought of it when I watched Daffy Duck when I was 5. Well, you should get gold. I'm G. Gordon Liddy, and I broke into the Watergate Hotel. You like gold?" I don't even know why the guys. What about guys that, I forget it. I was going to say guys that do commercials where they're, you know when guys are old and they do commercials and you kind of feel sorry for them, you know, because they're old? Like, remember the $6 Million Man? Right? The guy was worth $6 million. No, he's an actor, but he played the $6 million man. So when he got this, he goes, hey, man, what's the role going to be? You're going to be a guy worth $6 million. Say your arms are the best arms, and your eyes, everything. So he's feeling good about himself, you know? He's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know? Because a regular man is not worth $6 million. You'd be surprised to know this, but an actual regular person, if you just took them down to their trace elements, you know what a human body's worth? It's only worth like a couple of $100,000. So, but this guy was worth $6 million. So now, anyway, I seen him on the commercial. He sells the bionic ear. So this is kind of sad to me, you know, that he was at one time, you know, Hollywood's $6 million man, and now he's like, I don't hear too good. You want to buy this? The bionic ear. And of course, you get gypped because you think of the bionic ear from the show, where it was like, do, 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 and you could hear from a long way away. You know how you could tell the bionic man was fast, by the way? This is kind of a neat trick they did that seems very counterintuitive. But at the start of the bionic man, they'd show a collage of how powerful he was. To show how fast he ran, they would show him running in slow motion. So he'd be like this, da-da, and you go, God damn, that guy's fast. You go, man, I wish I could run that fast. How does he run that fast? So I always feel sorry for those guys that have to do that. What about those guys that have to do, they get so old, they do those commercials for old guys that can't get insurance and stuff? That's a bad job. Ed McMahon had it for a while, then he died. You know, after that job, generally, he would die. But, because they pick an actor that's going to die soon, so he can relate to the, but, so now it's Alex Trebek or something, but it's always like, and they're trying to get old people, really old people, to get insurance that it appears they shouldn't be entitled to. And so it's always like, hey, have you never been accepted once? Everybody decline you because you're so close to death? Anyways, we want you. I don't know why, but it's costs $2 a year, and we don't make a lot of money, I'll be honest with you. My father started the business, and he was worth $6 billion 6 years ago, and he blew it all with this ridiculous venture. Anyways, so listen, guys, in honor of the children, you know, because, hey, the children are our future, and I believe that. I don't really believe that because they told me that when I was a kid, and it didn't work out. But I will tell you a joke that a kid told me in a sick kid's hospital. He told me this joke, and he promised me to tell you. And he's going to see a savior before I mine, probably. Who knows? But his joke is this. This is his joke. He goes, it's a funny joke, and then I'll leave you. But you guys have been great. Thank you so much. So here's the joke. The joke is this. A dog walks into a telegram office, Western Union, I'm supposing. And he didn't know. And he said, so the telegram guy goes, hey, what do you want me to write in your telegram? So the dog goes, woof, 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 woof. So the guy writes it down, you see. And he says to the dog, he goes, hey, dog, I can't help but notice here, there's only 9 words on your telegram, you know. 10 words or less, it's the same price. If you would like, I could add an extra woof, you know. And then the dog goes, but that wouldn't make any sense. Why would I? Most of his brain stem was gone. He wasn't making a lot of sense. But he was a child. They said he was more host than virus. I don't even know what that means. I'm not a doctor, but no such child exists. All children are beautiful, except the evil ones. I like all children, except British children. I don't like those British children because they remind me of the devil. They're very evil. And, you know, I grew up with the Omen and stuff like that. And, you know, when the Omen was young, Damien, you know, he was all scary and everything, you know. And then later, they did Omen 2, and he's a little older, he's still frightening. And then he was like 13 in the third one, then he was frightening. Then they did one, he was an adult, he wasn't frightening at all. It's interesting, huh? You would think that human beings would become more evil as time went on. You know? You wouldn't think that the embodiment of evil would be inside of a child. But, I think that's just the celluloid pictures we get, I think in reality, as the scriptures say, let the children lead us, So let me think if I can think of a joke. It only seems fair. Jeez, I don't know a lot of jokes. Oh, I know a joke. There was a guy who had a great pig, man. This guy had the greatest pig in the world. And so a guy come to his house and said, man, I hear you got the greatest pig in the world. So the farmer goes, are you kidding? You talking about Bill? The guy goes, I don't know, man. I just heard it was a pig. I didn't know his name. He goes, yeah, his name's Bill. Bill the pig. And this pig, man, he's the best. He goes, why do you say that? How come you say that? You got any examples? He goes, I got examples. He goes, last summer, man, he goes, our child fell into the well, and was in the well. We didn't even know. And the pig came running. I was at the back 40 hoeing, and the pig grunted and snorted. And I just got my son out just in time. God bless that pig, The pig had a wooden leg, by the way. I forgot to tell you that part. And so then he goes, yeah, that's interesting, but he's got a wooden leg. He goes, let me tell you more about the pig. He goes, then another time, he goes, that pig saved my life, man. I was under the tractor, and a pig, with his own weight, pushed up the tractor and hurt his spine. He had disc issues later, but he did it for me on account he loves me. And he goes, well, but still, you only got the wooden leg. Never mind that, the guy says. He says, listen to my stories about the pig. He goes, this pig, well, last summer, the big fire, you heard about the big fire? You never heard about it? It was a big fire. It was a big fire all down the rural Route 20 here, and it hit our house the worst. Anyways, the wife and I are very sound sleepers, and we didn't hear anything. And if it weren't for the pig, who hit his snout on the window outside of our bedroom, hit it with such ferocity that it smashed the window open, and we escaped, the black smoke, then we would not be alive today. Why we belong to this pig. This pig, we would not exist without it. It's our most prized possession, if you could even call it that. We love that pig more than anything. And so then the guy said, but I still don't understand. How come it's got a wooden leg? And then the guy says, are you kidding me, man? Have you even been listening to me? You can't eat a great pig like that all at once. You haven't heard a word I've said? What is wrong with you? Hey, folks, you've been great. God bless. Keep up the good work. And may God save your soul.
Let's do some jokes.
That went well, Josh.
Now, this is a great joke. This is, I think, just a classic joke. This may have been written by, who's this new boy that I've taken quite an unhealthy interest with?
Black.
Huh?
Scott Black.
Scott Black. Anyways, I really like this Black. See what you think of this joke. If you could just speak this joke out loud into that camera.
Okay.
You don't have to read ahead, or you can if you like.
I'm taking a fascinating class.
Try to, use your comic timing and delivery.
Okay. I'm taking a fascinating class all about the Hollywood freeway.
Oh.
It's called 101 101.
101 101.
Good joke.
That's pretty good, right?
That's good.
That's pretty good. Here's one. Mrs. Donald J. Trump, fresh from a plagiarism scandal, is facing a different kind of heat. A racy photo spread from 95 has emerged with photos of Melania Trump lying nude in a bed as another naked model embraces her from behind, just below her breasts, which are fully exposed. Another photo shows the other naked model in sheer stockings, a low-cut bustier, and high heels, raising a whip as if preparing to spank Melania, who pretends to recoil. Geez, who does Melania think she is? Mamie Eisenhower? Crowds in Brazil greeted arriving Olympians with signs reading, "Welcome to hell." Imagine that. Their local chamber of commerce really needs to brush up on the basics. Would you like to do a joke? It's always funny when because when he started, he sucked at jokes, and no one liked them. But he's getting a lot better.
He's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just say it to that camera.
All right. There's no hard evidence that flossing helps your teeth much, scientists now say, though they add, it is a great activity for people who enjoy tedious, repetitious drudgery.
Some of them he's gotten better.
Yeah, that was a stumble. That wasn't great.
And that was good. It was good.
Yeah.
You always know a joke's good when the response is, that was good. In lieu of laughter. Oh, what about New York City? Apparently horse manure has taken over New York City. How about that?
Oh.
Isn't that terrible? Anyways, there's a joke for the Great Margaret Show.
The heat wave striking New York City this week has led to piles of horse manure to spontaneousy combust. So for the first time in history, you can explain why New York City smells like a flaming pile of horse shit.
Oh, jeez. Only Margaret could have pulled that one out. Who wrote that? You? We let him write 3 jokes a week. My mom was a drug addict, so we had a lot of cookies that she had baked. But you know what her secret was? Love. Ecstasy-induced love. Now, you should read ahead on this one. But I think this would be a good joke for you.
TBS...
Well, you're not reading ahead.
Oh. TBS is developing a Notorious B.I.G.-inspired comedy series, which I guess explains their new slogan, TBS, fucking dog shit.
I don't know. Sometimes you don't want to say that because then TBS will phone you and say, we're interested in what's that, you know. Last week, Pope Francis paid a somber visit to Auschwitz, which surprised me because I thought he was one of those fun ghosts. Is he dead? I don't know. In my time, they died. They didn't retire. You know what I mean? Go back to their first love. Jesus. August 4th is the birthday of the great poet Percy Shelley. You like Shelley?
I do.
Yeah. Jazz great Louis Armstrong. Who doesn't like Louis Armstrong? Huh? Well, not you, but it's not personal. It's the entire.
No.
And the day in 1882 that Lizzie Borden grabbed the axe and did her best Paul Bunyan impression, cleaving her father and stepmother's heads like hot grapefruits, because their skulls were split with such precision. It is believed her parents were asleep and therefore didn't suffer. So they say. So anyways.
Was that a joke?
Hey, what about this? This is an actual joke.
Okay.
Technically, can be proven to be a joke.
I know I'm not the most attractive. When women look at me, I can tell they're...
you're not the most attractive man in the world.
I know I'm not the most attractive man in the world, but when women look at me...
No, not but. As evidence.
Oh, right. This is to support it. Yeah, this...
I know I'm not the most attractive man.
I know I'm not the most attractive man in the world.
As a matter of fact...
When women look at me, I can tell they're overdressing me with their eyes.
That's very good.
Mm-hmm. Good one. That's good.
I don't like doing homeless guy jokes.
Okay.
Fuck those. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
They really need to be made fun of, you know. You guys talk.
Are you going to read all those jokes?
Oh, no. Oh, no. These are just going to go into a pile for use.
Didn't your cousin have trouble during the war on drugs?
My cousin got a Purple Heart during the war on drugs.
Well, that's good.
After he tragically overdosed on cocaine.
Oh. Well, you know, I had a wild night last night, boy. I was in an orgy. It was me, my iPad, my laptop, and TV while my phone watched. It's more of a comment, really.
Yeah, that's more commentary. Comment.
You know, I was raised Catholic, and when people find out, they always assume there was some creepy priest involved, you know. But they never suspect the deacon. Were you raised in a broken home? I heard that from somebody.
Yes, I was raised in a broken home. My father was a drunk carpenter.
That's why we got into the business, right? Jokes.
No.
Do you remember when you were a little girl and were there any who made you laugh, or anybody in movies that made you laugh? Or
Flip Wilson.
Flip Wilson. I've never been on top of trends, I guess. You know, when everybody was burning CDs, I was still burning books. Were people burning CDs for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, on their computers.
Yeah, it was like making mixtapes.
Yeah, you burn a CD.
Huh. I heard about a terrible thing. You ever hear about the guy that burned the Koran? I heard about a guy. He made on his computer 1,000 different Word documents of the Koran, like PDFs, and he deleted all of them.
Oh, it's like...
Anyways, we better take a break. But you were telling me before the show a story about a sad pizza that you knew. That you were friends with a sad. That you were friends with a sad pizza. How did you know that pizza was so sad?
I mean, have you heard of the sad pizza?
No.
It cuts itself.
Oh. Oh. That is sad.
Thank you for making us laugh for so long and for so long in the future. Now, you have all the jokes. This is where we do the jokes.
Got it.
This is a joke section where you just have to read a joke off a blue card. You don't have to think of a joke.
Good.
Like those other shows?
I'm not Jay. No, it's automatic.
So what joke would you like Tim to do?
This one seems like it might cover, some of the
I
subject
see.
matter, they're like the little people.
Yes, I got you.
All right. Blue Man Group. It's a long-running off-Broadway show in New York. Men dressed in blue. If you haven't seen it, very annoying. They beat on drums forever. The Blue Man Group has been forced by the federal government to hire an orange man and a purple woman.
Oh, my God.
Dear. Purple woman.
Sign of the times,
Orange,
huh?
Orange man and a purple woman.
How about this?
Orange man and a purple woman.
A new report from the CDC states that only 1/3 of Americans use condoms, while 2/3 of Americans are still pretty cool.
Get out! Why do you get a good one? That was good.
What?
Whose joke was I just?
What, was that
steal somebody's joke.
He says that's a good one.
You can tell. Ever since Trump's new policy came in, the band Foreigner is scared.
What?
Because of Donald Trump, the band Foreigner is scared.
Oh. The what? I'm sorry.
Because of Trump's immigrant policy, the band Foreigner is scared.
Oh, the band.
I stole that. That's some young guy said that at the Laugh Factory. I think I stole that. But I didn't steal it really because I just admitted that I stole it.
Yeah, and you did it better.
It's
confusing because you could hear the phrase band foreigners, like foreigners have a band.
Yeah, me and him both have band.
They say curiosity killed the cat, but I don't think we should rule out that shifty-looking kid next door. I was raised in a broken home. My father was a drunk carpenter. Oh, man, this shit is just going south. Oh, something tells me a cock and bull story has a very different meaning in a gay rodeo. Well, this goes along with this stuff I've been doing. Slogans that you say that you don't understand where they came from.
Right.
Colder than a witch's tit.
Yeah.
Whoever measured, whoever actually got a witch down on the ground and said, "Paul, give me that thermometer."
Yeah, it's like the phrase "enough coke to kill a horse."
Right.
What?
Well, the one I got, I did a benefit for veterinarians, vets, and but to get Eastwood laughing, that's good. Then he pulled a gun on me. I like that cock and bull story. I like
Happy as a clam.
Or let the cat out of the bag. For God's sakes, do it. God, you got a cat. You know you paid too much when it actually cost you an arm and a leg. Where did that even come from?
What about this? Were you ever, when you served time in prison, didn't you?
Good, bring that up. Wow, almost got out of here. Yes, I did. Candy man. Give me another joke. You know, I'm happy to help out a friend, but the next time my roommate asks for help putting sunscreen, he better be talking about his back. Fool me once.
Oh, no. That was for Adam Egan.
Why would you put
I didn't understand that.
So this is
Here's one for you. Here. Yeah? Yeah, that's what it is, of course.
This is a pile.
What's that say?
This is not a good pile.
The person who invented the Frisbee was cremated and made into Frisbees after he died. His body was then spread across roofs and poorly maintained backyards. I hope that's true.
Huh.
Hey, you know
Sounds like that's like a Trump tweet.
Yeah,
right? Just doesn't make any sense.
You know what's not as easy as we were talking about?
Easy as pie.
Easy as pie. You know what's not easy as pie? Baking a fucking actual pie.
Does it say actually fucking in there? I'm exhausted. My kitchen is a guy. Oh, you did. You ad-libbed in there. That was nice.
There's no use crying over spilt milk.
Yeah,
unless the milk was spilt on your father's fresh corpse right before his funeral.
Too many words. It's not bad. There's no crying over spilled milk.
Concision. I try to tell him. Concision.
Yeah.
That's what I tell him every day. What do I tell you?
Concision.
I say exaggerate, clarify.
Wow. Or what they say, tragedy plus time equals comedy.
This is Mr. Candyman over here. He got a lot of ideas, but he ain't got a lot of coke.
Wait a minute.
You weren't sentenced for 650 grams of ideas.
Wow. You do feel better. A New Mexico man was arrested for urinating on a family at a Metallica concert, or as Adam Egan knows, it's called foreplay.
Oh,
it is. Yeah, it is.
Hey, you were talking about
who's Adam Egan?
That's the problem. That's the problem. We forgot to introduce you. But here's a thing you were talking about: how things start, how sayings start.
When I grew up, my family was so poor. Yeah, well, we didn't have a pot to piss in, so we pissed in other people's pots. We'd break into houses in the dead of night, find the people's pots, and take a giant piss in them because we had accumulated full bladders from holding our urine all day long, waiting to piss in people's pots. Now, literally, if you told this as the character, it's too long, but there's so much meat in there.
Yeah.
It's two separate jokes.
May not be long enough.
I say there's a story there that, you know.
I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. That's another expression.
Oh boy, here we go. Nothing funny about Nazis. No, you can't even talk. You can't even say Nazis. The only thing about Nazis I've used is.
Wait, I haven't said that.
I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but my left big toe is a neo-Nazi. Even worse, my big right toe believes that there should be a gender pay gap. You can't. Hitler's just not funny. Still, it's not enough time. Except he did kill the mustache style.
Allegedly.
Oh, he did?
No, I've been around Aryan Nation guys in prison that would tattoo "fuck you" on their forehead. Still wouldn't go that far.
Right.
You know, they got swastikas everywhere, but they go, no, that's too much.
Who did what?
Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That was a short while. Remember the Hanes commercial?
Commercials. Yeah,
He tried to bring,
maybe that's where it grew.
Probably the last person I expected to try.
Isn't it funny?
back
Charlie
the
Chaplin and Hitler. The only two guys that ever tried that one. That looked good. A little.
I think Hitler took it from Chaplin.
I think so, too.
Because he was a man of the people.
Oh, yeah, and he had the stash, obviously, before the great dictator.
You remember those pictures? Remember that picture
You're thinking about that.
of Hitler? Remember World War I? He's like...
He was photobombing people. He was the first photobomber. He was. Yeah, they did a musical about the Armenian slaughter. What is the matter with
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
A group of crows is called a murder, a group of unicorns is called a blessing, and a group of cows is called my in-law.
Good night! You screwed it up and it's still okay. You just sold it at the end.
I tried, right?
I need one.
Well, you don't like children, so this might be
I didn't say that. I said I don't like you. Do you have children?
You said you don't like children.
Did I?
Oh, many times. So many times.
Did I say that? Exaggerate to clarify.
When did you not say that?
A hippo's mouth is wide enough to fit in a 4-foot-tall child. Really? I like hippos. Unfortunately, after measuring the hippo's mouth, almost all the children were eaten.
What?
A hippo's mouth is wide enough to fit a 4-foot-tall child.
Okay.
Unfortunately, after measuring the hippo's mouth, almost all the children were eaten.
Look, I know the Bible says not to covet thy neighbor's wife.
Right.
But it doesn't say a damn thing about coveting thy neighbor's husband, especially a sweet, hot fucking asshole.
This is sweet, hot. Is that in there? You just toss all that stuff in there. But it is true. It doesn't say anything about coveting thy neighbor's husband. Huh? You make a good point, Norm.
Well, what about women, young
The show's
women?
going, what?
Young women?
The Statue of Liberty is setting a bad example for young women. When times get tough, you just can't stand motionless for centuries holding a torch.
That's true.
You
What
got a
about
point.
this? What about this, Pally?
Or wear a dress and have people walk
Steve
around.
O'Donnell, the man behind the cameras, now on camera.
Steve won't do it.
I'm really more of a booster.
Are you, Steve?
Artifacts from Auschwitz are set to go on tour for the first time.
You guys won't stop.
Experts believe that this will be Miley Cyrus's darkest opening act yet.
Wow.
Oh, this is almost perfect.
I might open with that in Vegas. That'll get the crowd walking out.
I'm going to let the great Tim Allen,
experts believe,
one of the best joke tellers to ever live.
I don't know Jay
is amazing.
He's an amazing joke teller.
Jay,
funniest guy on the planet though is Marty Short.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Marty Short. I can't be around him again.
Constant.
Hurts me.
Yeah,
but he's not a stand-up.
Stop. Can't help himself.
But
Isn't that weird that he's not a stand-up?
He's not a stand-up. We did The View, he and I, for a movie we did together, and the first time ever those women were speechless. I mean, we owned that show. He's so freaking funny. We did a whole bit in the makeup trailer about all the theater we'd done. We haven't done any. Because everything's a theater play.
The Jiminy Glick is so hilarious.
I did that.
He could say,
he could say horrible shit to you, and his chin was coming off one. And when I did it, this whole piece, and I kept going, and he wouldn't come out of character. And I said, but this is all coming. Your name again? Who are you? He's horrible. He's a horrible man.
Yeah, somebody told me, I don't know, maybe Steve Martin or somebody said, oh yeah, that's Marty being Marty. Like, Final joke. I hold in my hand
Karnak.
The final joke. Now you're supposed to all applaud.
Well, that's Karnak. Well, when you ask for it, it's not worth it.
May a dog in heat romance your leg in the month of September.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the final joke. Now I want you to read ahead.
All right, read ahead.
Read ahead, so you give it all.
All right, a new study finds
and hold on. Before he finishes, because I want to end with a big joke by one of the greatest joke tellers ever.
Well, Leno's on his way in.
And so I'll say thank you very much to Tim Allen for gracing our show.
Absolutely. Hey, you guys are great. Thanks.
There it is. There's the camera right there.
The camera. She just brought it from home. Yeah, the smallest cameras I've ever seen. Listen, a new study finds that men are more likely to blame stress from work as a contributor to their poor mental health, while women are more likely to jabber on about something or other. Why do you give me that one? All of a sudden,
I'm not saying.
They get those cards and letters.
Sometimes, our guests aren't that funny.
Sure.
So we write jokes.
Great.
So, would you like to read one?
Yeah.
That's for you.
I'll play along.
A little louder.
This one, I don't know in this era. They announced there's going to be another Twilight movie, and the little girl inside of me is really excited.
I made a bad business decision, Adam Egan. Started an online business. You know what I sold? Brick and mortar.
Pretty good. I like you gave it something, too.
I gave him a little bit. Hey, listen, I may not have book smarts, but you know what I have? Supermarket flyer smarts. You know where I got them? From reading a lot of supermarket flyers.
That can't be one of the jokes, is it?
Jesus.
Dude.
Did you ever think...
I smell a mass firing. Is this going to go down as a test show?
No.
You better fucking air it.
Listen, did you ever think that I wanted to...
Jesus Christ. Test show. I'm being tricked.
Hey, a new study shows 37% of people talk to their car. It's the first study ever conducted by the International Organization of David Hasselhoff. Listen, David Spade, it was great to have you on the show. Thanks a lot, everybody. How about that? Jokes for them, just so in case. So do you want? Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, we'll start with Adam Egan. He'll read a joke.
Okay. I wear my hair in a big man bun to compensate for my tiny man hot dog.
Cocktail wiener.
Oh, that's much
Pretty
better.
good. That was much
Change
better.
that.
No, I will.
I don't think this is going to do much better. The president of ESPN says he quit the network because he was being extorted over his cocaine use. Cocaine also explains fuck it. Here's a joke for the great Drew Barrymore, maybe our finest comic actress.
Oh, you are.
Drew.
Did you know every planet in our solar system is named after a god?
I did not know that.
Except Earth, which is named after all that stuff on the ground. Okay, can I keep this?
You got
I love this.
Every day, Drew, I try to expand my vocabulary by using new words to give my arguments more verisimilitude. Today's word is expand.
I don't get it.
I love people that say they don't get it because, sometimes you tell a joke and they go, and then you explain to them and then they go, I don't like it. And you don't get to not like it. You didn't fucking get it. Okay. Here you go, Adam.
You're too stupid to like it.
My father urged me to pursue my passion. That's why I'm here. I had to go into showbiz to make all the money I lost designing and marketing neckerchiefs.
It's always a good idea to stutter on the final word. Drew, call me old-fashioned, but I long for the days when wives stayed at home and only cost 3 goats.
I get that one.
It was fantastic to have you here.
Thank you.
I've still got this joke. That's so sweet, honey. So here's your joke. Now, I want you to read ahead, and then as soon as you finish the joke, me and Adam Egan are going to rush out there and sing a little song.
You got it.
Okay, but read ahead.
Fuck it up.
Read ahead.
No,
read ahead.
What do you mean?
Like read silently, read ahead. So.
Oh.
Yeah. But before she reads it, just thank you so much for being here. So kind of you to come. Here is the final joke.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Am I waiting for you or are you waiting for me?
I'm waiting for you.
I finished.
You? Oh, no, you read. Drew Barrymore, everybody give her a hand.
For a part-time actor and feeding himself.
Hey, what about this joke? If you can't handle me when I'm covered in the blood of a boar I've just sacrificed to the gods, then you do not deserve me during the bountiful harvest that will result. So here's the time in the show where we do jokes. And, Dave doesn't even need jokes because he just says stuff and then everyone laughs.
Yes.
So here's a joke. Do you want to read the first joke?
Do I have to read them?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, you don't have to do anything.
If this is what is part of the thing. Yeah.
Where are my?
I'll do a bad joke first, though. If Earth hasn't been visited by
every other guest has done this.
Yeah. If Earth hasn't been visited by super intelligent aliens, then who made all those inexplicable, perfectly strong? Okay.
Yeah.
And then this is yours.
So the idea is I get 2/3 of the way, fuck it up.
No. No, you do your best.
I was once trapped on a desert island, and to be honest, the 5 albums I brought didn't help a goddamn thing. That's a very popular, long-running show in Great Britain.
British presenters, especially in the 90s, especially children presenters, turned out to be a cult of much evil. I don't want fancy things or fancy schmancy things. I don't even want fancy schmancy wancy things or fancy schmancy take a trip to Francie things. What I want is wasting your time and mine.
You're an infant.
Here, you read one.
A lot of people have. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I already fucked it up.
No, you didn't. Come on.
A lot of people are excited for self-driving cars, and so am I. Finally, I'll feel what it's like to kill without having any personal responsibility.
I had this conversation earlier today. We were on one of the freeways.
Yeah.
And I just posed the question, have we really verified the advantage, what it is for self-driving cars? Like you're...
Those things don't work out.
I'm not coming back, Norm.
Now he read the joke.
I don't think we're coming back either.
Don't say that at me. Here's the joke.
TV pitch, 3 words, young Gene Shalit.
I'd watch that. I would watch.
They are going to have to lease editing equipment for this show.
Oh, no, by the way, we have to go, Dave.
Yes.
We have to go.
Yeah.
But we made a song up to sing.
Oh,
what about
God.
this? Not for you to sing, though. You can just watch us. Male authors are obsessed. This is what, going back to I don't know, Updike and Hemingway, male authors have been, Anyways, male authors do tend to be obsessed with female bodies. Male authors obsessed with female bodies. Going on and on about webbed feet and soft insulated. I'm sorry, that's male otters. No, Dave, no. Dave Letterman, everybody. How could it end like that? He walked out of the show.
You walked Letterman.
We walked Letterman, baby. The clock on the wall. Here's where we do the jokes. These are jokes that we just write them out on blue cards, and all we do is we say the jokes.
Okay.
So I'll do one just so you get the idea. I like my movies like I like my pasta. Meatballs, too. Okay, go.
I can't stand stuck-up bodies of water.
Is that right?
It's like, get over yourself, Lake Superior.
Get this, Jane. When I was a kid, I walked in on my parents having sex. It was the most embarrassing half hour of my life. This is what I saw. I walked in.
Your mom is lucky.
I walked in. I take after my father. Here's one for you.
You have a great profile.
I'm blushing. Really?
Oh.
Yeah. Turns out, it's who you look like in profile? Brando.
Oh.
Marlon Brando?
Yeah.
Towards the end?
I'm not kidding.
How does Brando sound like? Can you do an impression of Marlon?
No, I can't do impressions.
I bet you can.
No.
Try Marlon Brando.
I can't.
Try.
No, I don't.
Try
I don't.
just for fun.
Stella!
Marlon Brando from Streetcar Named Desire. Jane, if you fight fire with fire, there's only one winner. America's powerful fire lobby.
Who writes these? My favorite NCAA teams all happen to be colors: Auburn, Navy, Sienna, and hot bubblegum pink.
Oh, they're very good, yes. They. You want to say it again?
No.
Oh, here's something interesting. You don't have to hold on to that.
I'm just trying to believe that somebody actually wrote that as a joke.
My palm reader told me that I have nice hands. Maybe the nicest hands she's ever seen. Also, on Friday, I'm going to get hit by a train. But anyways, we have two more jokes. And then we're off to Vegas. Okay, so you can pick the joke like magic. Okay, I'll do the first, because then you'll do the last. And then, let's be honest, most people you ever see go skinny dipping are more actually going dipping. Let's just be. And now, Jane Fonda will do the last joke, so say your joke. And before you say your joke, Jane Fonda, everybody! Right here. How about that? Oh my God, they love you. They love you. Can I kiss you?
If I could add one president to Mount Rushmore, it would be James Polk, because I'm interested to know what he looked like.
What did he look like? Let's do our song. Okay, this is the segment, Chevy. We don't always have world-class comedians like you on the show. We often have people that aren't funny. So we write jokes. We write jokes, and then we tell the jokes. And then, we all do it. Like Adam Eagle will read a joke. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, sure. So try to imagine how different our world would be if Mumford had remained childless.
Fad Mumford?
Fad.
Fad.
Fad?
Shut up. Okay, next.
I've been jogging for a few months now, Chevy, and you might like to know that I recently set a personal record for a 5-mile run. 3 miles. But let me say this first. I am a gifted but self-taught composer.
Why don't you just wipe your mouth a little? Making me fucking sick.
Chevy, I am going to challenge you to do not John Belushi, but just get a laugh by going to sneeze, by putting that on your mouth. Just anything that comes to your mind. Help me! It's amazing. And this, thank you so much for being here, my friend. It was a great pleasure. Done? We are after you tell the jokes, but I just want you to get your due from the crowd. Thank you. And now the final joke by Chevy Chase.
To me, perfect sex is like a car wash. You start by lining up right and going in slow, and you finish when 3 Mexican dudes run up and furiously towel you off.
Chevy Chase, everybody, let's sing a song. Here's your first joke. Should I start? Maybe I should start.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I should start. This is not a great joke. I shouldn't editorialize. A storm picked up eggs and milk over the Rockies and is now battering the Midwest. It's a terrible. So that's not much of a joke.
That was the one you were going to give me to start it?
No, I was going to give you this one.
Jeez.
This one I like very much.
Okay, and do I have to do it with such gusto?
Oh, no.
Now, I ain't saying she's a gold digger.
You're not saying she's a gold digger.
But she does have several shovels, picks, and panning sluices strapped to her burrow.
Oh, well. She may, in fact, be a gold digger.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Here, you read one.
Do you know what they are?
They're jokes.
No, man. Have you read them before? I get
no, nobody's allowed to look at it. Read it.
If you're one of those people who complains that CVS receipts are too long, you are going to fucking hate books.
Why do you swear? Why do you swear? You need to swear? What about this one?
Is there a curse in that one?
No, but...
Wearing glasses doesn't always make you smarter. For example, you must wear them on your face. I'm missing it.
Well, if you wear it on another part of your body.
You must wear them on your face.
Ridiculous.
So I had to deliver that with a little bit more ignorance.
It's hard. I guess you should. I guess you probably should push face.
Like that was like an important thing. Like
Try it now, and just give everything to that one word, face.
Yeah. Okay. Wearing glasses doesn't always make you look smarter. For example, you must wear them on your face.
No, nailed it.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's very good. You know these donkey shows.
I feel like that's a pity laugh. Definitely this area was a pity. That was a pity. There was a couple genuine over there.
Sure.
Okay, M. Night. Take everything you know about bread and throw it out the window. Okay? Did you do that?
I did.
Great. Now, let me tell you about a little invention I made. Bread. It's all fun. Hey, who's this graffiti artist who draws chalk outlines of people in the bad parts of town? I like it. I like it. Yeah, once, if you're sitting around with your thumb up your ass, how could you possibly think you were doing nothing? It just doesn't make... Read this a little bit in advance, and I think this might be the last joke. Oh, how about this while you're reading? Prison rapes are delicious. Prison rapes... Well, I'm sorry. Prison crepes. But this is sort of a joke and a Zen koan all in one. Listen to this one. And then right after you do this one, we're going to, the show's over, we're going to run over here and sing a song for 10 seconds if you'd be nice enough to just wait for that.
Okay.
Now, but first, before M. Night reads, or Night I call it, reads his final joke, do you like him or what? They loved you.
Thank you for having me.
They loved you.
You guys are so sweet.
They loved you, and I can't wait to see. I loved Split. I saw it last night. It was fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Here we go, and everybody should see Split.
And Glass in 2019.
Yeah, January of 19.
Oh, can't wait.
Here's the final joke.
Final joke. The inside of the human body is more of a miracle than you'd first think.
Even more of a miracle than you'd first think. Why is that?
Since everything goes on in there in total darkness.
Well, you never. What? Wait, no.
Oh, cut it!
That can't be the way we end.
No.
I read it 3 times wondering if that was going to happen. And it happened as I saw it was going to happen.
Here's a very, very,
Give me a
this is
guaranteed
almost,
one.
Okay.
This is guaranteed. Give me a guarantee.
A joke in the spirit of M. Night Shyamalan. Were it M. Night Shyamalan to produce jokes rather than films, the joke might read something like this.
A lot of people stress out about getting crow's feet, but personally, I would be more concerned about their long, razor-sharp beaks.
Oh, my Lord, let's do the song. What do you say? As funny as you are, so we write their jokes so they can say jokes.
Oh, okay.
You know, but I thought this would be cool for you because it's the greatest joke teller ever, maybe, right? Okay, so here you go, Michael. Don't ever read it ahead, though. Should be a little louder also.
Oh, gotcha, okay. No, I thought there was another thing, really. So this would be...
Oh, you think that? No, we'll get you.
No, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah. Boy, how my mom worked all day, cared for me, put food on the table, and killed all those drifters is really something.
But this one,
joke.
You have to read ahead on this one.
See?
Because this requires a little bit of, this requires performance. Because here's the thing, you have to then repeat those three words with a little bit of an accent.
Give me one.
That's why this will kill you.
Huh?
That's why this is going to kill. We're going to cut this part out.
Okay.
So, you see, he's a Russian guy that works at the fair. Right? Life is fair.
Okay.
That's all he thinks in life, you know.
Okay.
He just knows.
Okay, we're back. I had a little coaching session, so I hope
This will crush so hard.
I hope I come through for you.
Watch how big they laugh.
You know, no one ever said life is fair, except for that Russian guy who worked at the fair. Life is fair. How about that for a Russian accent?
That was fucking awesome. That was so good. Hey, what about this? I want to coach a little person to become an eating contest champion, and I want to name him Noam Chomsky. What about this, man?
This is very good. Wait, ready? Sorry, let me do it. The most disturbing thing about Disneyland is seeing all those smiling people walking around wearing Mickey Mouse's severed scalp. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want the band to play me off. All right, am I done?
I had the best joke.
Oh, all right.
I was saving for you.
God, I don't know. I want to go off on that.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to do. I'm going to give you.
That was strong.
This is strong.
All right.
I would not lead you down a path astray. So I'm going to give you the strongest joke. I'll do one, so it'll be a palette. Okay. When Mozart would sit down to compose, this will be good for your son.
Okay.
When Mozart would sit down to compose a new piano concerto, he'd first pause, close his eyes, and say to himself, I better make this as hard as fuck to play. Oh, I thought that wouldn't work that well. Okay. Okay, this is the best joke for the best comedian that I've ever witnessed. And here it is. And then, and also, thank you, Mr. Keaton.
Yeah.
Thank
you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
And here it is.
Red Bull for
right to that camera, right there.
All right. I wonder who's buried in the grave of the guy who invented the old switcheroo.
Hit it, boy! Yeah. Oh, that's good.
That's good.
I like
good
that.
for me, yeah.
All right, we're back with Billy Joe Shaver. Now, this is the part of the show, Billy Joe, where we read jokes.
Am I slobbering again?
No, you're not. We read jokes off blue cards.
Okie dokie.
So you want to start?
Why not?
Why not? Here's a joke.
Okay.
You can read that.
I don't fat shame women because you can't judge a book by its cover. Of course, it's too damn thick. Nobody's going to read it.
Billy Joe, what about this one? This might sound crazy, but...
Yeah. You're right. Bad news for e-cigarette users. You look fucking stupid.
Strangely, the word Bell is in the inventor of the telephone's name, Alexander Graham Bell, similar to the inventor of the fax machine's name, Benedict Thomas Plot. What about this?
All right. Words cannot describe your beauty, Adam Eggett, but numbers can. You're a 4. But relax, you got a 5 head.
You got a 5 head.
It's funny and accurate.
Hey, I'll give you the last one. Are you ready?
I never was, but yeah.
Now, first of all, let me say this has been a real two-holer of an interview. And give him a big hand, Billy Joe Shaver.
That's
Billy
a
Joe.
mystery, man. It's a mystery.
Billy Joe will be doing the last joke.
All right. A bird in the hand is a good way to get bird flu, you fucking asshole. Get away from me. Go wash your fucking hands.
Yeah, Billy Joe, baby. Let's sing, Adam Egan.
All right. That hurt.
Well, let's get to a very important thing.
What was the important thing?
Huh? So we're just gonna be. I'll read the first joke just to. Chess players think checker players are dumb, but I love playing checkers. Plus, the red ones are tasty.
I do like that one.
This is our cold close. This one is good, though. This one is good.
Oh, you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Nobody tells me what I can or can't eat, least of all some guy whose job is labeling packets of silica gel.
Do you know what silica gel is?
No. Is this like a regular feature?
Yeah. Because structure is so important. So you know how we end the show, right, Lauren?
No, I don't know. I've never seen the show.
You've never seen this show?
Been on yet?
What hasn't been on?
It hasn't been on TV.
How would I have seen it?
No, that's true.
I've heard about it, of course.
Yeah, but what we do is me and Adam Egan. This is Adam Egan.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
And this is Lauren Michaels, everybody. We go up here and we sing a song into the camera.
Jeez.
And then if you were just be kind enough to sit in your chair, it'll only take 20 seconds.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. One more time for Lauren, though. Come on, seriously. Well, I see by the clock on the wall that it's time to bid you one and all. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So long.
So long.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Adieu.
Adieu.
Be good.
Stay well.
Bye-bye.
Keep warm.
Relax.
At ease.
Take care.
Stay loose.
Adieu, mon vieux.
A la prochaine.
Goodbye until we meet again. All right, thank you so much, Lauren.